With Ameren's response to our inquiry on the thousands of disconnections that have happened in November alone.
And I'm Scott Jagow. Some federal employees could find back pay accrued during the government shutdown in their bank accounts as soon as Sunday.
Bad Bunny wins Album of the Year at the Latin Grammys.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Mostly sunny today and turning noticeably warmer, the high near 80.
A big change coming for MLS in St. Louis City SC. A new season schedule that'll dramatically change the way it does business. I'm Brian Feldman, sports in 15 minutes.
It is time for CBS News at the tone. It's 6 o'clock in mid-America.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Evacuation orders are in effect in Southern California as they brace for fallout from the pounding rain and gusty winds of a powerful Pacific storm. Many live in areas hard hit by the Palisades and Eaton fires earlier this year. These men in Malibu.
So important to always be prepared and always just be ready, because you never know what Mother Nature is going to throw at you.
Every few years, things happen. I think I'm more prepared today than I ever have been.
High winds are helping fuel a fast-growing wildfire near the popular Mammoth Mountain Ski Resort in Northern California. The lights are on again at federal government offices as workers return to their jobs for the first time since the 43-day-old shutdown began.
Happy to be back in office and see the people in the streets and see the city life again.
CBS's Jared Hill has more.
Food aid could start flowing as soon as today for the 42 million Americans on SNAP. At the nation's airports, the journey to normal likely to spill into the weekend.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says TSA agents who demonstrated what she calls exemplary service will be getting $10,000 bonus checks. President Trump's also promised bonuses to air traffic controllers who worked without pay. Today's the deadline for the BBC to meet President Trump's demand for an apology and damages over its January 6th coverage, or face $1 billion lawsuit.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. The BBC has formally apologized to President Trump over a documentary that edited different parts of his January 6th speech to make it appear he was explicitly advocating violence that day. But the government-funded broadcaster has refused to pay damages because the documentary never aired in the U.S. and because President Trump went on to win the 2024 election. Ball now firmly in Trump's court.
Texas A&M is limiting classroom discussions on gender and race.
University regents unanimously agreed to ban any courses from advocating race or gender ideology or topics related to sexual orientation or gender identity without a campus president's approval. The rule tightening comes after Republican politicians in Texas accused public universities of indoctrinating students with liberal ideas about race and gender. In September, Texas A&M fired a lecturer after a student accused her of teaching that there are more than two genders.
That's Michael Wallace. And there's concern over social media influencers promoting medications without explaining the risks.
A study published in JAMA found nearly a quarter of posts about drugs by influencers on TikTok and Instagram used promotional language like life-changing or revolutionary. But in 80% of cases, influencers didn't disclose their posts were sponsored.
This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
At 6:03, we have clear skies and 54 degrees downtown at the Gateway Arch. Today is Friday, November 14th. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. A follow-up this morning on Ameren, Missouri, turning people's power off, as KMOX's Maria Kina reported on why the Consumers Council of Missouri is so concerned.
Sandra Padgett is Executive Director of Consumers Council of Missouri, and this is what she told us about the disconnections with Ameren, Missouri.
Once again, Ameren has disconnected many households in Missouri, and this is Ameren, Missouri, and in November of 2025, they disconnected 17,347 households.
KMOX requested an interview with Ameren, Missouri. However, instead, they sent us a statement from Steve Wills, Director of Regulatory Affairs, that reads in part, quote, "We've collaborated with hundreds of partners and communities across Missouri and Illinois to assist our customers in acquiring over $105 million in energy assistance grants." Now, Wills never addressed the number of disconnections. It's not clear if the federal government is still funding those energy assistance programs or if they've had cutbacks. Wills does say that people can still apply for the funding, though. Missouri's Public Service Commission is looking at utility affordability customer programs. The PSC wants all investor-owned electric, natural gas, water, and sewer corporations that operate an assistance program to respond with information on their customer assistance programs today. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Striking union machinists are ratifying a new contract with Boeing to make fighter jets.
The deal ends in over 100-day-long strike with a new 5-year contract approved by 68% of the union. Marshall Daniels has been with the union for over 40 years and believes the strike was worth it.
I feel it was very much worth it. It should let the big companies know that you just can't push people around.
In a statement, IAM District 837 said, quote, "We're proud of what our members have fought for together and are ready to get back to building the world's most advanced military aircraft." Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Airport Director Rhonda Hamnabergy says it was a relief to tell staff at Lambert International Airport that the government shutdown had ended and that checks would start rolling out.
Just the fact that we can share with them and they know that it's over, their paychecks are going to be coming in the near future, I think is huge for us to be able to continue operations.
Hamnabergy says it will take a few days for most of the airlines to get back in shape and get planes in the right places.
The federal government is on track to reopen for business. The U.S. House passed the spending plan Wednesday night without the backing of Kansas City Democratic Congressman Emanuel Cleaver. He says it's because the legislation does not extend Affordable Care Act tax credits.
These skyrocketing premiums are going to wreak havoc all over the state of Missouri, including and most particularly the small towns where they have hospitals that are just not going to be able to stay open.
Missouri's Republican House members supported the plan.
Illinois Governor Pritzker says state workers are scrambling to get aid flowing to people receiving food assistance following the end of the government shutdown. He says Illinois has constantly been adjusting those benefits in response to court rulings during the shutdown.
Originally, it was 0, went to 50%, 65%, back to 50%, though some people weren't going to get any at all. Now we're back to 100%.
Months of collecting for their Thanksgiving distribution day was almost squashed by thieves who broke in 3 times at the St. Luke's Baptist Food Pantry in Grand Center last week and Sunday. 150 chickens had been taken from their freezers. It was only after the 3rd break-in where a St. Louis City police officer showed up to file a report. Stuart McMillan spoke with Director Carlton McKinney Jr. He says some big donations came in this week to allow them to give out food Saturday.
Normally, they can just come in, go shopping, go back out the door. But because of the break-ins and because we haven't got the windows and everything fixed, the pastor and I say, you know what, let's just go ahead and have them, do a drive-by. They'll go in, get their bags.
And you don't have to break in to get food.
You do not have to break in to get food. My name is on the flyers. If you need food, call me. I can either say, hey, we don't have it today, but I can meet you in a few days.
St. Luke's Food Pantry at Grand and Finney will be handing out Thanksgiving food bags on a first-come, first-served basis this Saturday from 8 until 10:30 a.m.
The Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Alton bars won't be able to stay open as late in the new year as the Alton City Council removes part of the city's liquor ordinance. Soon, all bars will have to close at 1 a.m. Currently, they can stay open on weekends until 3 a.m. For much of the summer, there were problems late at night. Increased police presence helped, according to some business owners, but it wasn't a financially sustainable solution. Hiram's Bar and Poor Decisions already had their late-night liquor licenses yanked over the summer by Mayor David Goins, who is also the city's liquor commissioner. Poor Decisions has since closed permanently.
A Missouri congressman says drones need to be federally regulated. I'm Beth Coughlin with the story next.
That is coming up after traffic and weather together. It's 6:08.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-693-3109. 800-693-3109. Again, that's 800-693-3109.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's get you updated on traffic and weather. It is 6:10. Here's Roger Brandon, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, there's no change so far on Highway 44 westbound at Antire. Still only the left lane open from the earlier tractor trailer and possible small brush fires, but I did hear them send at least 1 or 2 pumpers back in service, so they may be getting close to wrapping it up. But for right now, it's still status quo. Only the left lane open, westbound 44 to Antire, and of course, you can't exit at Antire. The jam goes about midway back to 141, and again, the better news is there are no delays eastbound 44. No lane restrictions, obviously, but nobody's even slowing down for a look eastbound 44 coming through Antire because the fire's out, so there's not as much of a sight to see there on the way through, so that's the best news. And other than that, there's just a brief slowdown westbound 70 through that Wright City rest area in the construction zone. Other construction zones are still on the move so far. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Mostly sunny today and turning noticeably warmer with a high around 80. The record is 81 from 1971. Cleared this evening, then partly cloudy later tonight. Breezy and very mild, though, 58 to 62. Breezy and unseasonably warm tomorrow with clouds and some sun in the morning. Plenty of sunshine in the afternoon. Tomorrow's high 77. The record 81 set in 1971. Sunday mostly sunny and much cooler. The high 61. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, Joe. Right now it's 52 in St. Peter's, the same in Florissant, clear 50 downtown at the Arch. And the weather is sponsored by Chuck's Boots, the Midwest's largest boot stores. Boots for every walk of life, rugged work boots, stylish fashion, comfortable hiking boots, cowboy classics, uniform boots, motorcycle gear. Chuck's Boots in Fenton and St. Peter's, chucksboots.com.
A new schedule for Major League Soccer and St. Louis City SC. When are they going to start? When are they going to finish? There going to be more cold weather games? Sports coming up in 2 minutes.
It is 6:12. Hearings have been held as members of Congress express concern about the number of drones being flown throughout the country.
Northern Missouri Congressman Sam Graves, chair of the House Transportation Committee, talks about drones, which are reportedly being used by drug cartels and could be used by nations hostile to the United States.
It is getting out of hand, and we are taking a very close look at it and penalties for people. It's very hard to find out where the signal is coming from.
Some members of Congress worry drones could be used by terrorist organizations during high-profile activities like college and NFL football games. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
U.S. bishops vote to ban gender transition care at Catholic hospitals.
At their annual meeting in Baltimore, America's bishops voted to make official a ban on gender transition care for transgender patients at Catholic hospitals. This move formalizes a year-long process for the U.S. Catholic Church to address transgender health care. Most Catholic healthcare institutions have taken a conservative approach and not approved gender transition care. But these new directives formalize that mandate. It will be up to local bishops, however, to make the directives law in their own diocese. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
A delegation from Germany is in St. Louis this week. Suzanne Evans is the president of the St. Louis Stuttgart Sister Cities, which is celebrating its 65th anniversary. What do we gain from these sister city relationships?
University exchanges, high school exchanges, art exchanges, lots of cultural exchanges, and also some business development between the cities.
Evans says the relationship initially began as a nurse exchange between the two cities, but then Mayor Tucker visited and thought Stuttgart had a lot in common with St. Louis. The 65th anniversary gala of the St. Louis-Stuttgart Sister Cities is tonight at the Hilton Frontenac. Tickets available at stl4stuttgart.com.
The nation's largest health insurance companies, including Clayton-based Centene, are accused of being a price-fixing cartel. Some of the biggest healthcare and hospital systems in the country are suing, saying the companies have siphoned billions from them and their patients. Plaintiffs include the Missouri State Medical Association and St. Louis-based Ascension Health. The Business Journal reports a federal judge in Chicago will rule on the case centered on a software and analytics company accused of masterminding the price fixing, billions of dollars at stake.
Good morning. I'm Brian Feldman filling in for Tom Ackerman. Major changes underway in Major League Soccer. The league moving its calendar and will now play its regular season starting in the summer, concluding with the MLS Cup the spring the following year. Used to start in the winter and end in the fall. MLS's Board of Governors voted yesterday in overwhelming fashion to begin the new calendar in 2027. The league says it'll have a shortened transition season from February to May 2027 that'll feature 14 games. This move designed to sync MLS's schedule with the rest of the soccer world, despite the fact it'll create more cold weather games for northern clubs. City SC says fans should only expect a slight increase in home matches in colder weather. On to baseball, Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge continue to make history. Both players claim MVP awards in their respective leagues. Ohtani in the National League, Judge the American League. For Shohei, it's the Dodgers star's fourth award, all unanimous, and third straight dating back to his time with the Angels. Only Barry Bonds has more MVPs in baseball history. The 31-year-old staking quite the claim to maybe one day being considered the greatest ever. Now, as for Judge, the Yankees outfielder edges Seattle's Cal Raleigh for his third MVP award. On the ice, the Blues host the Flyers tonight at Enterprise Center. Face-off set for 7 p.m. The Note beat Calgary 3-2 earlier this week to rebound from a disastrous loss in overtime to Seattle last weekend. NFL action last night. The Patriots moved to 9-2 on the year after taking down the Jets at home 27-14. Running back Travion Henderson finds the end zone 3 times, twice on the ground, once in the air. A rookie from Ohio State leading New England to its 8th straight win and the best record in the National Football League. It's the Patriots' longest winning streak since Tom Brady was there. Down in college, Mizzou hosts Mississippi State tomorrow night in Columbia. The Tigers unranked after losing its third game of the year last week to Texas A&M, bringing its record to 6-3, 2-3 in SEC play. Mizzou's beaten every team it's supposed to beat, namely the unranked opponents, but it's gone down to number 8 Alabama, number 10 Vanderbilt, and number 3 Texas A&M in all the biggest matchups of the season. Kickoff set for 6:45 tomorrow. And in college soccer, Maryville University's women's team in the semifinals of the GLVC tournament tonight. The Saints take on McKendree at Creve Coeur Park at 7 p.m. Head coach Lori Lawson in her 7th season leading the team. The St. Louis native, a member of the U.S. women's national team that won the 2015 World Cup in Canada. With reports at 15 and 45 past the hour, I'm Brian Feldman on your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. KMOX.
The legendary Fast Eddie of Fast Eddie's Bon Air and Redbirds Hall of Famer, Jason Isringhausen.
Hey, Izzy, what's going on, man? Looks kind of like you got something on your mind.
Well, Eddie boy, I'm thinking you may need to change the name of your place from Fast Eddie's to $5 Eddie's.
$5 Eddie? Man, why in the world would I call it $5 Eddie?
Well, I was in there the other day and bought myself the coldest beer I've ever had in my life, and I gave the guy $5. And then I went over and got some of those huge cold water peel and eat shrimps, and I gave her $5.
Well, I never really thought about that. There's a lot of $5 going on in there.
And then I went back up and got one of those huge Fast Eddie cheeseburgers, and I gave them $5 again.
Man, definitely has a ring to it. I think there's a lot of $5 going on.
Yeah, and I had about $100 worth of good time.
Well, that's good to hear, and it's easy to do with live music 7 days a week and a big old party going on that big, beautiful outdoor patio.
Well, like Mr. Shannon always says, if you're 21 and in the mood, head on over to Fast Eddie's Bon Air in Alton, Illinois, and maybe take a selfie on that old Harley Davidson of mine.
Who else has got a Cardinal Hall of Famer's Harley Davidson sitting out on the patio for some selfies?
Only Eddie boy.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Many families in Missouri and Illinois live in freezing conditions. They can't afford utilities.
HeatUpStLouis.org has helped thousands. 100% of public donations help neighbors stay warm.
Please help HeatUpStLouis.org.
Many families in our region are living paycheck to paycheck, or others may be seniors or disabled neighbors on fixed incomes. Please drop off a check payable to Heat Up St. Louis to any Commerce Bank associate. Thank you.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:20. Good morning. Let's check in on the Friday morning commute. How is the situation, Roger Brand, in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center?
Well, there's still no change, unfortunately, right now, Scott, on westbound 44 at Antire. This traffic reports service of the Poly Agency. We had an earlier tractor-trailer fire there. They've got it pretty well extinguished. I think they had some minor brush fires as well, but they remain mostly on the scene. They sent a couple pumpers back in service, but I think they may have just been the ones that ran out of water. So there's no change in that situation. Still just the left lane open westbound 44 at Antire, and it's backed up about midway back to 141, that jam as you come up the entire hill from 141 on westbound 44. And again, the great news is there are still no delays for eastbound 44 drivers. Light traffic going eastbound through the area so far for you this morning, and that is the only issue we have of any consequence. I mean, I'm looking at the other construction zones and things are looking good. We just have a little bit of a slowdown westbound 70 in that work zone around the Wright City Rest area, but 55 at 67, 64 through Greenmount, those construction areas, everything continues to roll along nicely. In a world of cookie cutter health plans, the Poly Agency is proud to represent coverage that's tailor-made to fit your needs. The Poly Agency puts the sure in insurance. For a free quote, call 636-222-2149. That's 636-222-2149. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The weather today might make you ask yourself, wait, what time of year is it? What day is it today? Because it's going to be mostly sunny and near 80 degrees for November the 14th. Tomorrow, a high of 77. That's close to a record both days. Actually, the record for today was set in 1971, and that was 81 degrees. So who knows? We may tie or break that. And then tomorrow again, 77, a little cooler for Sunday and Monday, and 61 on Sunday, maybe an afternoon shower Monday with a high of 58. Currently, it's 51 degrees with clear skies in downtown St. Louis.
The news continues at 6:22. Speaker Mike Johnson says the House will vote next week on a bill calling for the Justice Department to release all the documents regarding Jeffrey Epstein. But what happens after that is anyone's guess.
Now that enough House members have signed the discharge petition to force a full House vote on the measure, Johnson says it will happen next week. And he continues to insist that's what President Trump wants.
He's for maximum transparency. He said it as recently as a couple of days ago, and I talked to him about it today.
But does Johnson really want it to happen?
The Speaker of the House is essentially a lapdog for the president.
Florida Democrat Max Frost tells MSNBC he's sure there will be more obstruction attempts by Trump.
He is locked away right now, the next few days, with Pam Bondi and all the other cronies trying to figure out what they can do to stop this.
But stopping House approval is probably impossible now that several Republicans say they will join Democrats and vote for the bill. It was co-sponsored by California Democrat Ro Khanna and Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie, who says he votes with Trump about 91% of the time. But
when they're protecting pedophiles, when they are blowing our budget, when they are starting wars overseas, I'm sorry, I can't go along with that.
Massie's comment courtesy of CNN. Fellow Kentucky Republican Tim Burchett says he proposed passing the Epstein Files bill by unanimous consent, which means members would not have to go on record with their votes. But he tells Sinclair's national desk, Democrats blocked it.
The Democrats, once again, have proven my point. It's all about the show. It's about them. It's about power.
Once the bill clears the House, the Senate is no lock. And then there's the virtual certainty that President Trump would veto it. He's taken to social media to warn Republicans against joining what he called the Democratic trap. So then the congressional numbers game shifts. If the bill passes and Trump vetoes it, when it returns to Capitol Hill, will enough House members and senators vote to override the veto? It would take 67 senators and 290 representatives to do so. I'm Rich Johnson.
With the government shutdown now over, things are beginning to return to normal, although the blame game continues and an uncertain future over Affordable Care Act subsidies remains.
Chief among the concerns of Americans as the holiday season approaches was the cancellation of thousands of flights over the last week after the federal government decided to put flight restrictions in place at 40 major U.S. airports. However, with the shutdown over, the FAA says those reductions will not rise to 10% this weekend as originally planned, but instead will be around 6%. And Delta Airlines CEO Ed Bastian tells CBS News air traffic controllers are returning to the job.
They're going to get paid, I understand, in the next day or so. As a result, I think the system should return to normal by the weekend.
Meanwhile, tens of millions of Americans on SNAP and WIC food assistance programs will begin seeing that money return in the next few days. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins tells CNN a lot is wrong with the program.
SNAP is a broken program. SNAP is full of corruption. We found 186,000 dead people.
One issue left to be resolved, Obamacare subsidies that Democrats say will prevent millions of Americans from purchasing health care on the exchange. The Trump administration and House Republicans say they would rather replace Obamacare than reduce the subsidies, something Democratic Congressman Brendan Doyle tells Bloomberg shouldn't come as a surprise.
If there is one consistency in what Donald Trump has been saying literally for a decade now, it is that he hates Obamacare and wants to kill it. So I find it very hard to believe that he would be willing to extend these premium support credits.
Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance and Republicans continue to blame Democrats for the shutdown, telling Fox News,
they just want to burn it down. They don't care if the troops don't get paid. They don't care if you cause billions of dollars of lost productivity. They don't care if you shut down the airline industry, which they were very close to doing. They just want to get Trump.
But in a poll taken just ahead of the shutdown, the Associated Press found just 1/3 of Americans approved of the way Trump was handling the economy, down 10 points from March. John Stolness, Washington.
The time is 6:26, and your time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
i3 Broadband, where in the spirit of the season, you can feast on 100% fiber internet. Whether you're shopping, streaming, gaming, or gathering, you need reliable and fast internet, and that's the good stuff you can stuff yourself on when you have i3. They always mirror upload and download speeds. They have a price lock guarantee, and you get unbeatable value, support, and service. Call today, 877-976-0711. They have plans for any budget, and you're likely to pay less money for better service compared with whoever currently provides your internet. That's i3 Broadband, i3broadband.com.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
Discover the life you want at Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. We deliver a life-enhancing environment that nourishes the mind, body, and spirit as residents lean into joy and embrace purpose in a new age of senior living. Simply put, we have your back so you can put your best foot forward. Join us Wednesday, December 3rd for our holiday craft fair, followed by happy hour with BB Boomers. Visit Fairwinds River's Edge on Facebook to learn more.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This year, we're celebrating a century of St. Louis radio history, 100 years of KMOX. Hi, I'm Randy Carricker, and I've got so many great memories from my time behind the mic, and now we want to hear yours. Open the Odyssey app, find KMOX, and tap the voice message feature to share your favorite KMOX moments. Join us as we celebrate 100 years of the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
By the way, have you ever been to the Musial Awards? It is amazing. It is a huge production. It is a red carpet event. They've got all these TV cameras, and it is an actual huge Hollywood-like production with these incredible tales and stories of great sportsmanship. You'll cry from happiness. It's that kind of an event. And it'll be nationally televised on CBS and Paramount Plus in December. If you would like to go, be listening after Brian Feldman's next Sportscast because we have our final pair of tickets to give away.
At 6:30, we have clear skies and 51 degrees downtown at the Gateway Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. Here is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got our one trouble spot, Debbie, and that's westbound 44 at Antire. There's still no change there. Only the left lane is open and the exit is closed westbound 44 at Antire due to a tractor-trailer fire that occurred, about 90 minutes ago, I guess. So that result of only the left lane open westbound 44 at Antire means you're jammed about two-thirds of the way back to 141. But again, the good news continues to be that there's nobody slowing for a look on the eastbound side. Eastbound 44 is in great shape through there. Got a little more volume on the highway, so starting to see a little bit of a slowdown now. Northbound 55 Bayless up to River to Pear, and the slowdown's a little lengthier on westbound Highway 70 through that Wright City Rest area. I'm also seeing a little bit of a backup right now. Southbound 61, looks like we have an incident midway between W and Highway P. There's a short jam there. There was also metal debris reported in the roadway, westbound 370 near the mills, so be careful if you're headed through that area. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Mostly sunny today, and believe it or not, it's going to be 80 degrees. The record is 81, which was set in 1971. Overnight around 60, and again tomorrow it's going to be warm, beautiful weather for November. 77 for a high, and the record there on that date is also 81 degrees. But then we're back to around 60 degrees for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, maybe a couple showers Monday and Tuesday. It is 51 downtown at the Arch.
The funding measure that reopened the federal government could also be a big payday for Senator Josh Hawley and 7 other senators. Inserted into the bill was a provision allowing 8 senators to sue the federal government for $500,000 each because their phone records were seized by the FBI after the January 6th Capitol riots. There's been a bipartisan blasting of that provision once it came to light. Hawley even now says it was a bad idea, although he believes the FBI must be held accountable. House Speaker Mike Johnson says next week he'll introduce a standalone bill to undo that provision.
150 frozen chickens were stolen from a food pantry in Grand Center just before their big Thanksgiving giveaway event that was planned for tomorrow, and it's still happening.
First window that broke out was this one.
This is Stuart McMillan. No one has been caught for the 3 break-ins that happened last week and Sunday at St. Luke's Memorial Missionary Baptist Church food pantry. St. Louis City Police did not file a report until the front door had been smashed on Sunday. Pantry director Carlton McKinney says he's overwhelmed by those who have stepped up to replace what was lost.
A couple of corporations have reached out and was like, what do you need? What can we give? And it's just, wow. It's like, wow, we are backing up offshore, even though now we have a security system in place now. Thank God.
This Saturday morning is when they'll be handing out those Thanksgiving food bags from 8 until 10:30. First come, first serve. And don't let Google Maps fool you. Grand is back open, and you can take Finney to where St. Luke's Pantry is located.
It's the beginning of the end for a decade-long vacant downtown hotel.
Demolition has begun on the I-44 facing side of the building, at least the smaller structure of it. This demolition will also not be a quick process either. due to asbestos being found in the building. It will be taking quite some time as they have to do a lot of abatement and be careful with the deconstruction. Now, going in place of the once famous hotel will be a new mixed-use development featuring 585 apartments and 1.3 million square feet. It'll be developed by the company behind Ballpark Village, and the intention is to create greater connectivity between downtown St. Louis and the Gateway Arch National Park. Outside the Millennium Hotel, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Coming up next, your Bloomberg Money Minute. It's 6:34.
Purina presents A Century of Service.
This is KMOX Radio.
KMOX is celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining St. Louis. On November 20th, KMOX Day, we will celebrate the KMOX pioneers.
This is Jim White for your information.
Legendary voices.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Groundbreaking programming.
KMOX Radio. We're at your service.
And unforgettable moments that have defined a century of broadcasting.
We did locate Ben this afternoon, and we've also located Sean Harnbeck.
Hear from current and former KMOX personalities who have helped make this station the preeminent news, information, and sports brand in America. A century of service, celebrating 100 years of KMOX, is presented by Purina, your pet, our passion, on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It is 6:35. You are listening to Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey along with Scott Jagow. We'll check in with Roger Brand in 5 minutes. And also our AccuWeather meteorologist. Going to be kind of summery these next couple of days. Right now, here's your money report sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The sell-off in U.S. stocks extending into this morning as fears of a hawkish pivot by the Federal Reserve is fueling a retreat from risky assets. The tech-heavy NASDAQ, that fell 2.3% in yesterday's trading. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell almost 800 points. And Bitcoin's bear market deepening as investors pull about $900 million from funds investing in the token. The stock in Verizon was up, but for a tough reason. Traders reacting to anticipated cost savings from job cuts. Verizon plans to cut as many as 15,000 jobs starting next week. A troubling trend in housing as the number of home foreclosures rises for the 8th month in a row. This is from industry tracker Atom Data Solutions. They say the total foreclosures in the U.S. rose above 36,000 last month. That's up 3% from the month before. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
This holiday, give the gift that lasts all season long. Cardinals ticket packs are on sale now, starting at 5, 6, and 10 games. All packs include 2026's top games and favorite giveaways. Backed by popular demand, choose from the opening day pack or the bobblehead pack. Check out the Cubs pack, weekend pack, or apparel pack. There's a pack for everyone. Find your perfect gift right now at cardinals.com/tickets.
And that's grounded up the middle. Diving play. Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws. He got him.
Busch Stadium isn't just a ballpark. It's where St. Louis comes alive. It's where every pitch matters and every cheer feels like home. Season tickets put you right at the heart of it all. And now there's a new way to be all in. Introducing 20-game season ticket plans. Get all the season ticket benefits with more flexibility than ever. Don't miss your chance to own your piece of 2026. Learn more at cardinals.com/ticket.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
This is Kyle Bush with Crinch Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. Life changes, divorce, loss of a loved one, or an inheritance. It can be overwhelming. We provide the resources, long-standing support, and thoughtful guidance you need to plan ahead. With our help and experience, you don't have to navigate these transitions alone. You can move forward with greater clarity and confidence. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services. Member FINRA/SIPC. Prince Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
KMOX, your place for NCAA football play. Saturday, as Oklahoma faces Alabama. Pre-game at 2, kick at 2:30. Hear it here on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:40, traffic and weather together. Let's start with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change on 44 so far, Scott. This traffic report service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, but it looks like they're making headway. I see the big rig tow truck coming down the ramp to deal with the tractor trailer that caught fire earlier. The fire's out, obviously. But still, again, the end result is, as of right now, only that left lane's open westbound 44 at Antire. The jam is west of 141. It's about 3/4 of the way back to 141 on westbound 44, and it's a solid jam, so it's only one lane's open. Good news, though, like I've been saying, eastbound 44 has never slowed for a look, so you look fine there. Northbound 55, the Union Road overpass up to River de Pere, that's a little slow. Northbound 270, Doherty Ferry up to Manchester is a little busy right now. Looks like they cleared that incident we had. Southbound 61 between W and P, things are thinning out quickly there. It's just a little slow approaching Wentzville Parkway, and westbound 70 still has that little slowdown right around the Wright City Rest area. No problems so far for Illinois drivers. Their work zone through Greenmount is not an issue. In downtown, we're still clear westbound across the Poplar and Museo Veterans Bridges. I do see a little bit of a backup northbound Route 3 between Queenie and Monsanto. Times are always changing, but Penn Mutual stands the test of time. The 178-year Young Mutual Company is leading the way in life insurance. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
6:41, time for us to check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg. And I think some people may have to do a double take and try and remember what time of year this is.
It's going to feel more like September, Debbie. I mean, that's how warm it's going to get today with the sunshine for the most part. Our high will climb up toward 80. In fact, the record of 81 is within sight. That was set back in 1971. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, a breezy, balmy night ahead with a low in the upper 50s to low 60s. A front approaches tomorrow. It'll become breezy ahead of it and unseasonably warm with clouds and sun in the morning, more in the way of sunshine in the afternoon. 77 are high. Again, the record of 81 is within reach. Sunday, behind that front, it's much cooler, but near normal with sunshine. The high is 61. We'll see clouds and sun for Monday. Could see a shower in the afternoon, the high 58. A lot more clouds and sun for Tuesday. Temperature stay in the 50s. And again, there could be a shower. It's 52 at St. Peter's, 53 in Florissant. Mainly clear, 54 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
MVP awards have been announced in Major League Baseball, and I bet you can guess who won it in both the AL and the NL. 4 MVPs for Shohei Ohtani. Could he be considered the best ever at some point? We'll see. I'm Brian Feldman. Sports coming up in 2 minutes.
It is 6:42. One name was on the tip of everyone's tongue at last night's Latin Grammy Awards in Vegas. I think you can probably guess who it is.
And the Grammy goes to Bad Bunny.
Puerto Rican superstar swept the Latin Grammys on Univision with 5 wins, including the biggest album of the year.
When you do things with love and passion, everything is easier.
Bad Bunny's called it a love letter to his island. Karol G won Song of the Year. Gloria Estefan gave all the credit to her husband and musical partner Emilio for her win for Best Traditional Tropical Album.
Baby, este disco no existiera si no fuera por ti.
Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
The final beam of a major expansion of the Motown Museum in Detroit is ready to go into place.
Robin Terry is Motown Museum chairwoman.
It's one of the most visited tourist attractions in the state of Michigan.
At the Motown Record Studios in Detroit, also called Hitsville, USA, the museum's 50,000-foot expansion will be ready next summer, dedicated to the artists and their music.
We've really committed this new space to telling a lot of those stories.
Joel and Maya grew up near Hitsville as it was producing the soundtrack for America, starting in the early 1960s.
This is one of the greatest things about Detroit is Motown, so we need to remember it and we need to pass it down.
Michael Toscano, CBS News.
It was once one of the largest doll factories in the country. Now it's undergoing a multi-million-dollar renovation to become a state-of-the-art public charter school.
The 91,000 square foot Horseman Doll Factory was built in Trenton, New Jersey in the 1930s. It's been empty since it closed in the 1960s, bringing blight to the neighborhood. Now it's an active construction site. Cranes are carrying equipment, bricks are being repaired, and concrete is being painted. Genevieve King of Foundation Academies.
It's a living, breathing, active, this is vision coming to life.
A $60 million public bond is financing the renovations, which include labs, a gym, and a college and career center.
We are giving them the best equipment, the best facilities, and the best education.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
From the KMOX archives, it was on this date 55 years ago, a plane crash in Huntington, West Virginia, killed all 75 people on board, including the Marshall University football team and its coaching staff. CBS News correspondent Tony Sargent reported from the school the next morning.
The sorrow of last night's disaster has exhausted students and officials. This morning, there is a quiet pause here as this university of 8,500 students tries to decide what happens next.
The university decided to rebuild the football program following that devastating crash. Marshall's determined recovery became a lasting national symbol of resilience.
Good morning, I'm Brian Feldman filling in for Tom Ackerman. Some big changes coming soon for St. Louis City SC and Major League Soccer. In order to coincide with other top soccer leagues around the world, MLS shifting its schedule to a different time of year. Instead of starting in the winter and ending in the fall, it'll start in the summer and end in the spring. Now, this will all begin in 2027 after the league's board of directors voted yesterday in overwhelming fashion. It'll also create more cold weather games for cities like St. Louis. But City SC says fans should only expect a slight increase in those types of home matches. On to baseball. Shohei Ohtani just might one day be considered the greatest ever. The Dodger star locks up his fourth unanimous MVP award. Only Barry Bonds has won more in Major League Baseball history. The 31-year-old takes all 30 first-place votes in the National League from the Baseball Writers Association of America. He's now won 3 straight, dating back to his time with the Angels. In the American League, Aaron Judge claims MVP for the 3rd time. The Yankee star edges Seattle's Cal Raleigh after smacking 53 home runs and an OPS this past season over 1,100. On the ice, the Blues host the Flyers tonight at Enterprise Center, face-off set for 7 p.m. The Note beat Calgary 3-2 earlier this week. That was to rebound from a disastrous loss in overtime to Seattle last weekend. NFL action last night. The Patriots moved to 9-2 on the year after taking down the Jets at home 27-14. Running back Travion Henderson finds the end zone 3 times, while quarterback Drake May throws for 281 yards and a score. It's New England's 8th straight win, the longest winning streak since Tom Brady was there. Down in college, Mizzou hosts Mississippi State tomorrow night in Columbia. The Tigers unranked after losing its 3rd game of the year last week to Texas A&M, bringing its record to 6-3 overall, 2-3 in SEC play. Kickoff set for 6:45 tomorrow. College hoops, the 3-0 SLU men back in action tomorrow at home against Grand Canyon. The Billikens coming off a 109-66 win over Lindenwood earlier this week. And in college soccer, Maryville University's women's team in the semifinals of the GLVC tournament tonight. The Saints take on McKendree at Creve Coeur Park at 7 p.m. Head coach Lori Lawson in her 7th season leading the team. The St. Louis native, a member of the U.S. women's national team that won the 2015 World Cup in Canada. With reports at 15 and 45 past the hour, I'm Brian Feldman on your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball, KMOX.
Next Saturday, not tomorrow, but next Saturday is the Musial Awards at Stiefel Theater. If you can attend, they want to make sure that every seat is full because, like I mentioned, this is like a full-blown Hollywood production. It's fun to be part of the audience, but they need those seats filled. So don't call to win these tickets unless you can go. But it is an incredible night of great sportsmanship. And you can get a pair of tickets if you are our fifth caller at 314-955-1120. 314-955-1120. Caller number 5 gets our final pair of tickets to see the Musial Awards next Saturday at Stifel Theater.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. We know your time is valuable.
That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Unlock your e-price and save.
That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you.
Visit genesisofstcharles.com during the Genesis Signature event.
Based on GMA sales records for 2024. See dealer for details.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Jason Smith is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Jason Smith at 202-225-4404 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your winter with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. Cozy up to the goodness of the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Help KMOX make the holiday season brighter for St. Louis area children by supporting TSO Tuesdays, benefiting Sightman kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. On Tuesdays, Sugar Fire will donate a portion of their TSO Tuesday special to Sightman kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. And don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve at Enterprise Center, December 23rd at 3 p.m. Get your tickets today for this holiday tradition. All you need to know at KMOX.com.
Now the news at 1 the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
At 6:51, we've had a problem on I-44 westbound this morning. Let's get an update from Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, if you're heading out the door, westbound 44 is still an issue. There's still just the left lane getting by westbound 44 at Antire. Looks like they got the big rig tow trucks on the scene, but this tractor trailer, aluminum trailers, when they catch fire, they burn really well. And so I'm sure the superstructure of it's partially collapsed. It's hard for me to tell from my vantage point. So it may take them a little while to get it hooked up and dragged out of there. The jam on westbound 44 is just west of 141. Again, good news. There's no delays eastbound 44 through the area. Eastbound 44 looks just fine so far. If you're on northbound 55, it's a little slow at 67, a little busy between Bayless and Weber. North 270 is thinned out for now. Southbound 61, a little slow at P, and then Wentzville Parkway down to 64. Westbound 70 through Warrenton looks okay. And on the Illinois side, they're just showing great shape headed for the bridges downtown. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by your local Lennox Premier dealer, Scott Lee Heating.
Scott Lee Heating's Premier Dealer distinction means you'll be working with the best the industry offers. Learn more about our special savings opportunities on Lennox products by calling 314-756-9444 or visit us online at scottleeheating.com.
By the way, congratulations to David and Godfrey picking up our final pair of tickets to see the Musial Awards on November 22nd at Stifel Theater. There may be a few tickets left if you would like to purchase them. It's Musial Awards. Let's look at that forecast. It's not going to feel much like mid-November today or tomorrow. We'll have a high near 80 today with mostly sunny skies. The record is 81, set back in 1971. Then tomorrow, breezy and unseasonably warm with some clouds and sun in the morning, then mostly sunny in the afternoon with a high of 77. Right now, it's mostly sunny and 51 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
The news continues at 6:53. The shutdown is over, but how long will it take to get the federal government fully back open? KNX Radio in Los Angeles, correspondent Margaret Carrero got some answers from shutdown expert William Resch.
The government does not instantly return to work with full functionality. According to the studies I've done with colleagues using survey data of federal employees in the last shutdown, which was 2018 to 19, agencies faced a ramp-up period that included many backlogs, a lot of catch-up, a lot of reductions in service quality. And so the doors might reopen fairly quickly, but the government's full operational capacity could take days to weeks, even months to normalize, depending on the nature of the work.
Does the length of this shutdown, given that it is the longest in U.S. history, does that have anything to do with the recovery?
I think there's several factors that make this recovery potentially different than past recoveries. You have to think about the severe workforce cuts that have already been incurred. And so there is a lot of uncertainty amongst the workforce already. Many people who were in specialized positions who are no longer in those positions. And so there was already a lot of uptake, a lot of learning on behalf of a thinned out workforce. I think you're still going to see flight delays, certainly, but that's not the only thing you're going to see across government in terms of continued inefficiencies, right? So in our study of 2019, 68% of federal employees reported delayed work following a shutdown.
Pertussis picking up. I'm Fred Bottomer with 60 Seconds to Better Health. There's been a spike in pertussis or whooping cough cases around the U.S. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
We're seeing cases increasing across the country, and there are really three main factors that are driving this. One, we've seen an increase in non-medical exemptions to vaccination. Texas, in fact, starting this school year, has made it much easier to claim those non-medical exemptions. There is waning immunity with the pertussis, whooping cough vaccines that we use. This is related to a change made a few years ago, over a decade ago, to have vaccines that cause fewer allergic reactions or side effects. But at the same time, the immunity doesn't last as long. Some of the symptoms can be very mild and you may not even realize. So stuffy nose, mild cough. But if you have a lingering cough, that can really be a sign. And then the whooping cough, we call it that because of the kind of violent coughs people can get. Sometimes they even vomit as a result.
With 60 Seconds to Better Health, I'm Fred Bottomer.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
Today's birthday shout out sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned, top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Patrick Warburton is 61. Seinfeld fans will remember him as David Putty.
Don't mess with the devil, buddy. We're number one. We beat anybody. We're the Devils. The Devils.
So funny. King Charles is 77 today. Reverend Run of Run DMC is 61. And Condoleezza Rice is 71.
Local celebrity birthdays include Laura Winchell from the Spring family, Karen Klaus, Lorraine Keck, Judy Schutzenhofer, Beverly Reb. Also, happy birthday, Kathy Douglas from the Life Group, Lyda Cruson, Chris King, and Missy Glassmaker.
This is the best birthday ever.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs, attorneys, and for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-all-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. In September, House Republicans passed a bill to keep the government open by extending funding at current levels. Now Washington liberals are holding the American people hostage. They shut down your government and are demanding Medicaid for illegal aliens and funding for woke projects, which would cost taxpayers $1.5 trillion. Now federal workers are missing paychecks. That's unacceptable. Throughout the shutdown, our offices will remain open to help you, our constituents. Go to onder.house.gov to find the office closest to you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
It's the biggest savings event of the year. Menards, 11% rebate ends Thanksgiving Day. Save big money on everything you need for any project. We've got something for everyone. Homeowners, contractors, DIYers, the kids, and even grandma. Hurry, Menards 11% rebate ends Thanksgiving Day.
Save big money at Menards.
11% mail-in rebate is a merchandise credit check. Good on future in-store purchases. See menards.com for details.
I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler with the Audiology Center, and I'm talking with my associate, Dr. Adam Voss. What happens to a person's brain when they ignore their hearing loss.
There is such a strong connection between the ear and the brain. Ignoring your hearing loss can cause the brain to become lazy and the speech areas in the brain to shrink. This is partially why you can hear the words, but you cannot understand them. If a hearing loss goes untreated for too long, it may cause an irreversible change in the brain. It is incredibly important to have your hearing screened at 60 or older, or sooner if you're noticing difficulty. And the sooner someone treats their hearing loss, the better and quicker their brain will adapt to hearing sound again. Studies show that those who get hearing aids, even with a mild hearing loss, are much more successful hearing aid users as compared to those that wait longer.
So call us today to get your comprehensive hearing evaluation with one of our doctors. 636-441-7470, or visit us online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Just before 7 o'clock, Roger Brand updating us on the roads from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Scott, it looks like they're getting 2 lanes through now. Westbound 44 at Antire, the 2 left lanes are open. The big rig tow trucks are still working with this tractor trailer. It caught fire about 2 hours ago. So westbound 44, 2 lanes open now. So it'll start to get better. But for now, we're still jammed just west of 141 on westbound 44. Pretty solid bumper-to-bumper backup. Again, as we've been saying all morning, there's no impact to eastbound 44 drivers. You're in fine shape. Northbound 55, barely a slowdown at Weber. And we have a crash reported on 94 at 64. The only delays I see, of course, are southbound 94 is backed up from 64 down to D, the way you normally see it. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Southern California is in for a weekend of severe weather as a powerful Pacific storm bears down on the region with heavy rain and high winds. Among the vulnerable, people in areas devastated by the Palisades and Eaton fires earlier this year. This man in Forest Falls has weighed the pros and cons.
The place here is so incredibly beautiful and wonderful that the risks are worth it. You have to be that kind of crazy to be able to stay here.
Elsewhere in California,
the pack fire in the eastern Sierra Nevada mountains exploded late Thursday night, damaging more than a dozen homes and scorching more than 3,000 acres. It's fueled by high winds from an atmospheric river, and crews grounded all firefighting aircraft overnight. The weather system pushed through Northern California yesterday, flooding roads and downing trees.
Correspondent Carter Evans reporting from the Palisades. A California Democrat is facing a federal investigation. CBS's Errol Barnett.
Sources tell CBS News Congressman Eric Swalwell has been referred to the Justice Department. He's now being accused of tax and mortgage fraud. Swalwell has been a vocal critic of President Trump and filed a civil lawsuit against him back in March of 2021. The DOJ has declined to comment.
The Trump administration's confrontation with Venezuela could be on the brink of taking a dangerous new turn. U.S. military action inside the South American nation. Correspondent Natalie Brand.
Two sources tell CBS News that no final decision has yet been made, but these sources say that Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and other senior military officials briefed President Trump on these potential options for the coming days that could include land strikes, according to these sources.
Another honor for baseball superstar Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani has done it again!
The Dodgers slugger and pitcher was named National League MVP for the 4th time in 5 years after leading his team to another World Series title. He was the unanimous choice of the Baseball Writers Association of America. Only Barry Bonds has more MVP awards with 7. Not to be outdone.
It's tied! Judge has arrived!
Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge won his 3rd American League MVP award, narrowly edging out Seattle Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh in the voting. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
One name on the tip of everyone's tongues at last night's Latin Grammys in Vegas.
And the Grammy goes to Bad Bunny.
Puerto Rican superstar swept the Latin Grammys on Univision with 5 wins, including the biggest album of the year. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You could think you found your dream home online. The kitchen island looks perfect for your inner chef. The backyard, a paradise for your green thumb. And that extra room, hello walk-in closet. But here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. And this sound, yeah, you're going to be hearing a lot of that. Don't let your dream home turn into a nightmare. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay, things people love.
It is 7:04. We have partly sunny skies, 52 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Scott Jagow. KMOX has another follow-up on Ameren, Missouri, disconnecting thousands of people's utilities. Maria Kina has been trying to get answers about what areas have been the most disconnected and if the energy assistance programs are being funded and for how long.
KMOX had an exclusive report from Consumers Council of Missouri on the thousands of disconnections Ameren, Missouri has carried out this year. We took those concerns to Ameren and requested an interview, but we were not given an interview. Instead, a statement was provided from Steve Wills, Director of Regulatory Affairs. It read in part, "We've collaborated with hundreds of partners and communities across Missouri and Illinois to assist our customers in acquiring over $105 million in energy assistance grants." Now, Executive Director Sandy Padgett of the Consumers Council of Missouri talked about the LIHEAP program.
We don't know how much money the community action agencies who administer the LIHEAP funds, LIHEAP is the Federal Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. We don't know how much money all of the community action agencies across the state have to keep this program going.
Now, Padgett wants to see utility affordability customer programs, and Missouri's Public Service Commission is studying just that. Today is the deadline for all investor-owned electric, natural gas, water, and sewer corporations that operate customer assistance programs to submit that information. Maria Akina, KMOX News.
Striking union machinists are ratifying a new contract with Boeing to construct fighter jets.
The deal ends in over 100-day-long strike with a new 5-year contract approved by 68% of the union. Marshall Daniels has been with the union for over 40 years and believes the strike was worth it.
I feel it was very much worth it. They should let the big companies know that you just can't push people around.
In a statement, IAM District 837 said, quote, "We're proud of what our members have fought for together and are ready to get back to building the world's most advanced military aircraft." Sean Malone, KMOX News.
150 frozen chickens were stolen from a food pantry in Grand Center just before their big Thanksgiving giveaway, which was planned for Saturday.
First window that broke out was this one.
This is Stuart McMillan. No one has been caught for the 3 break-ins that happened last week and Sunday at St. Luke's Memorial Missionary Baptist Church food pantry. St. Louis City Police did not file a report until the front door had been smashed on Sunday. Pantry director Carlton McKinney says he's overwhelmed by those who have stepped up to replace what was lost.
A couple of corporations have reached out and was like, "What do you need? What can we give?" And it's just, wow. It's like, wow, we are backing up offshore, even though now we have a security system in place now. Thank God.
This Saturday morning is when they'll be handing out those Thanksgiving food bags from 8 until 10:30. First come, first serve. And don't let Google Maps fool you. Grand is back open, and you can take Finney to where St. Luke's Pantry is located.
It's one of the oldest German sister city relationships in the country. The St. Louis-Stuttgart Sister City Relationship celebrating its 65th year. The president of the organization is Suzanne Evans. She says it started as
nurses exchange initially. Then Mayor Tucker went over there to explore the city of Stuttgart, and they realized that we have a lot of similarities.
At the time, automotive. Stuttgart is the home of Mercedes and Porsche. A delegation is in St. Louis this week, led by the Stuttgart deputy mayor. A 65th anniversary gala of the St. Louis-Stuttgart Sister Cities is tonight at the Hilton Frontenac.
Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. The owner of Arch Apparel says opening up shop in Ballpark Village was the worst decision of his life and it's cost him everything. Aaron Park tells the Post-Dispatch the location hasn't been profitable for 2 years. He once had 3 stores and 35 employees. He says now it's just him. and he hasn't been able to pay himself and is considering bankruptcy. Ballpark Village says tax receipts show big gains this year in general. Park says game attendance and foot traffic are way down. The president of the entertainment district says postseason foot traffic isn't much different than previous years and may be up slightly thanks to large events and conventions.
A Missouri congressman says drones need to be federally regulated. I'm Beth Coughlin with the story next.
It is 7:08. We'll check traffic and weather coming up.
Get ready, Missouri. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to homers to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Plus, with live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game is started, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. FanDuel is the best way to game day, and it's coming soon to Missouri. This way, you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game with FanDuel, the #1 rated sports app. Must be 21 and over and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
This fall, get a taste of what's to come at Dragonstone, an exclusive new Lombardo Homes community in Darden Prairie, west of Highway K and south of 364. Join us Saturday, November 15th at our Inverness display in O'Fallon for a grand opening celebration filled with treats, a cozy coffee bar, mini pumpkin pies, and a first look. Dragonstone, building Tradition Series homes and offering only 5 spacious home sites. Dragonstone offers luxury and privacy, as well as the convenience of living just minutes from Highway 364 and 64. Visit lombardohomes.com for more information.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. It's 7:11, and Roger Brand joins us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, traffic's pretty light on a Friday morning, Debbie. The one exception, of course, is going to be westbound 44. They do have the 2 left lanes open now, the westbound 44 at Antire, from the tractor-trailer fire that happened just about 2 hours ago. But we're jammed just west of 141. You have yet to clear the incident completely. So that's a solid bumper-to-bumper backup most of the way from west of 141 to Antire on westbound 44. Now, that's the only interstate backup we have. There's a little slowdown westbound 70 at the Wright City Rest area, the work zone, a little slowdown eastbound 64 east of Wing Haven, southbound 94, 64 down to D's, bumper-to-bumper, and there was a minor crash reported on 94 at 64. Downtown, they're reporting a vehicle fire. I don't see it. North 55 at Potomac, things look great there, and they continue to roll on the Illinois side. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, mostly sunny today and becoming warmer with a high pushing 80. The record is 81 set in 1971. Clear to partly cloudy, breezy, and quite balmy tonight, though 58 to 62. Tomorrow, breezy and unseasonably warm, clouds and sun in the morning. Mostly sunny in the afternoon, the high 77. The record is 81 set in 1971. Nice day Sunday, mostly sunny, but much cooler, the high only 61. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, Joe. Right now it's 52 in St. Peter's, same in Florissant. We have mostly sunny skies now and 50 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is 7:12. Airport Director Rhonda Homnebergy says it was a relief to tell staff at St. Louis Lambert International that the government shutdown ended and that checks would start rolling out.
Just the fact that we can share with them and they know that it's over, their paychecks are going to be coming in the near future, I think is huge for us to be able to continue operations.
The director says it'll take a couple of days for most of the airlines to get back in shape and get all their planes in the right places.
The funding measure that reopened the federal government could also be a big payday for Senator Josh Hawley and 7 other senators. Inserted into the bill was a provision allowing 8 senators to sue the federal government for $500,000 each because their phone records were seized by the FBI. This was after the January 6th Capitol riots. There's been bipartisan blasting of that provision. Hawley has said it was a bad idea, although he believes the FBI must be held accountable. House Speaker Mike Johnson says next week he'll introduce a standalone bill to undo that provision.
A Metro East bishop applauding his group's passage of a special pastoral message on immigration. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer.
The statement was approved and issued by the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops at its annual meeting this week in Baltimore. In it, the bishops say they oppose what they call the indiscriminate mass deportation of people and pray for an end to dehumanizing rhetoric and violence. The bishops said they felt compelled to raise their voices in defense of what they call God-given human dignity. Springfield, Illinois Bishop Thomas Paprocki praised the statement from the floor as striking a balanced tone, both compassionate for the concerns of migrants and at the same time expressing the call for meaningful immigration reform. The immigration system, Bishop Paprocki added, is broken and the laws need to be reformed. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Whether some drones could become active threats is being debated in Washington.
Northern Missouri Congressman Sam Graves chairs the House Transportation Committee and says his committee might begin holding hearings on the potential threat drones pose. Graves tells MissouriNet affiliate KFEQ in St. Joseph that he saw it firsthand during a trip abroad.
For instance, when the United States does tank exercises in Latvia, which we do. In fact, I attended one of those here just a few years ago. Right on the Russian border. The Russians sent over a swarm of drones, and they literally looked like, geese in the sky. There were so many of them.
Graves says there needs to be more federal regulations of drones being flown in the United States. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
Good morning, I'm Brian Feldman filling in. Tom Ackerman, major changes underway in Major League Soccer. The league moving its calendar and will now play its regular season starting in the summer, concluding with the MLS Cup the spring the following year. It used to start in the winter and end in the fall. MLS's Board of Governors voted yesterday in overwhelming fashion to begin the new calendar starting in 2027. The league says it will have a shortened transition season from February to May in 2027 that'll feature 14 games. This move designed to sync MLS's schedule with the rest of the soccer world, despite the fact it'll create more cold weather games for northern clubs. City SC says fans should only expect a slight increase in home matches in colder weather. On to baseball, Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge continue to make history. Both players claim MVP awards. Ohtani in the National League, Judge the American League. For Shohei, it's the Dodgers star's fourth award, all unanimous, and third straight dating back to his time with the Angels. Only Barry Bonds has more MVPs in baseball history. The 31-year-old Ohtani staking quite the claim to maybe one day being considered the greatest player ever. Now, as for Judge, the Yankees outfielder edges Seattle's Cal Raleigh for his third MVP award. On the ice, the Blues host the Flyers tonight at Enterprise Center, face-off set for 7 p.m. The Note beat Calgary 3-2 earlier this week to rebound from a disastrous loss in overtime to Seattle last weekend. NFL action last night. The Patriots moved to 9-2 on the year after taking down the Jets at home 27-14. Running back Travion Henderson finds the end zone 3 times, twice on the ground, once in the air. The rookie from Ohio State leading New England to its 8th straight win and the best record in the NFL. It's the Patriots' longest winning streak since Tom Brady played for the Patriots. Down in college, Mizzou hosts Mississippi State tomorrow night in Columbia. The Tigers unranked after losing its 3rd game of the year last week, bringing its record to 6-3, 2-3 in SEC play. Mizzou's beaten every team it's supposed to beat, namely the unranked opponents, but it's gone down to number 8 Alabama, number 10 Vanderbilt, and number 3 Texas A&M in all the biggest matchups of the season. Kickoff set for 6:45 tomorrow. And in college soccer, Maryville University's women's team in the semifinals of the GLVC tournament tonight. The Saints take on McKendree at Creve Coeur Park at 7 p.m. Head coach Lori Lawson in her 7th season leading the team. The St. Louis native, a member of the U.S. women's national team that won the 2015 World Cup in Canada. With reports at 15:45 past the hour, I'm Brian Feldman on your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball, KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Keep St. Louis
Budweiser Town. Stockholders, don't sell out.
There, when headlines hit home.
Speculation started early. AB wouldn't buy InBev's offer of $65 a share.
We believe this is an exciting opportunity and a winning combination for multiple reasons.
Rito calls the buyout attempt the next natural step in a relationship with Anheuser-Busch.
It sucks. Blue-collar workers worried about an upcoming contract in March.
I think the deal is going to go through, but I think that it does add an element of risk.
It's a great day. We've worked very hard to get here. Now, of course, we have to focus on delivering.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Achieve more with competitive rates on savings and lending. Visit togethercu.org.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
Many families in Missouri and Illinois live in freezing conditions. They can't afford utilities.
HeatUpStLouis.org has helped thousands. 100% of public donations help neighbors stay warm.
Please help HeatUpStLouis.org.
Many families in our region are living paycheck to paycheck, or others may be seniors or disabled neighbors on fixed incomes. Please drop off a check payable to Heat Up St. Louis to any Commerce Bank associate. Thank you.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:20. Let's see how the Friday morning commute is going. Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's still no real change, Scott, on westbound Highway 44. We still have just the two lanes open, the left lane's open coming through Antire from that earlier tractor-trailer fire. So we still have a jam back pretty close to 141 on westbound Highway 44. So be prepared. Again, as we've been saying, the good news is for eastbound 44 drivers that there is no issue coming eastbound. No, nobody's ever slowed down to take a look at it. So things are fine there. They're reporting a minor crash northbound 55 just past Highway M. Looks like it may be on the shoulder. It's sort of hard to see from my vantage point. Traffic's just a little heavy through Highway M. And then there's just a little bit of a slowdown between Bayless and River de Pere. Other than that, eastbound 64, both sides of Winghaven, sort of bogged down there, but eastbound 70 looks great coming in from out west, Wentzville way. And on the Illinois side, no delays at all. 64 through Greenmount and 55, 70, and 64 across the Poplar and Musel Veterans Bridges downtown continue to roll along for you this Friday morning. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is going to be quite summery feeling for mid-November. Today, mostly sunny with a high near 80. Tomorrow, it'll start out with some sun and clouds, but then mostly sunny by the afternoon with a high of 77. But then it starts to cool down. We'll be at 61 Sunday, 58 on Monday. Right now, it's partly cloudy, 52 degrees. And the weather is sponsored for you by the Bruning Law Firm. With decades of courtroom experience and thousands of five-star reviews, the Bruning Law Firm has built a reputation for fighting hard and winning big. When your future is on the line, you want seasoned attorneys in your corner. Visit BruningLegal.com today.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Next time somebody says St. Louis, what's St. Louis got?
It's time to roam with Scott Jagow, and you can play along at home. He'll play some clues. We'll all try to figure out together where he's been. But those of us guessing in the studio will hold our guesses until the very end. And it's just going to be me and Stuart McMillan.
Yeah, I'm going to ring the bell this time. I'm feeling
really
confident
He's
today.
feeling confident.
I'm feeling good.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
the look you just gave me says you're never going to guess this.
It's brand new.
Okay.
So that's good. I try to get ahead of the curve on some of these things.
Future
but I don't know who's gotten any word of mouth about it. So maybe you guys do have a good chance of getting it. All right. I'm going to start with this clue. Say that again. Key lime toasted ravioli.
Toasted ravioli.
Okay. That one I haven't heard before.
Made by STL Toasted on the Hill. They make both those and our buffalo chicken toasted ravioli. So a cool new take on something that is very much a staple in St. Louis. We also have gooey butter cake made by Ann and Allen Bakery. We tried to use and pull from as many local sources as possible on our menu.
Okay.
All right, menu.
Key lime
Key lime
toasted
raviolis.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Very interesting.
I'm willing to try it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know about that.
Try it once.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
least.
there's buffalo chicken toasted raviolis.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of different spins you could put on those, you know?
Okay, so it sounds like a place to eat that
New
brings
restaurant.
in other local goodies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here's clue number 2.
I think it came from a need for smash burgers in the area. There's nothing like this down here. And Chris Hansen, one of the directors for the entire KAF, if not the director for the entire KAF organization, loves a good smash burger. We always talk about Max and Jake's and all these other great places. And he wanted something like that here.
Oh, I love a good smash burger. I love a good smash burger.
It is. It's. I think that, people have smash burgers in other cities, but it's kind of a big deal here.
Yeah.
For some reason,
'Cause
smash
remember
burgers are very popular
back
here.
in the day, it was the fatter the burger, the better. And now nobody wants a fat burger.
Yeah, they just want 3 patties on top of each other.
Yeah.
Literally.
If it's 8 patties smashed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
KF, she's saying KF.
I'm having some ideas.
I know. I knew you had some ideas. I knew you would.
It's not fair. She knows everything.
Okay, here we go. There's more to this place, and we're about to find out.
All right.
Our dance hall, we have live bands performing there every single Friday and Saturday. November, we're doing No Charge November. So every single Friday or Saturday night, you can come over and see the bands for free. Doors at 8, music at 9, every single Friday, Saturday. We want to bring back live dancing. We want you to come here and take a salsa class and then listen to an amazing Latin fusion salsa band.
Now that sounds fun.
It does sound fun.
You don't hear a lot all over the dance places anymore.
Yeah.
Toasted rav and salsa. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like the dancing,
type of salsa.
Sure, they have regular salsa.
That is
Mild,
true,
hot,
though.
Whatever.
That is true, though, about dancing. There's not a lot of places to go dance here.
No.
Yeah.
It's not, it's nice to have. And this place has local bands. There are other places that have, touring acts from national coming in. But this place specifically focuses on local bands.
Okay.
Local performers.
Okay.
Okay, I got one more clue.
You'll see a lot of Cuban influence. We've hired a lot of St. Louis-based Cuban artists, as you can see in all the artwork on the walls. Really, we're just trying to build a safe space for everyone to want to come dance and hang out, try some good food, dance the night away, get a good cocktail, and then tell their friends about it tomorrow.
There you go. A lot of different elements. If they can remember where they were.
I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Not today.
All right.
Okay.
I know where you are, but I'm struggling to remember the name of it. It's the new Kransberg Arts Foundation joint.
That's KF.
In the buildings that they saved that were going to get knocked down by SLU.
That's true. These are all correct things.
It's like the Boogie Bar, Burger Boogie Bar.
You almost had the first word. You were about to say it.
Boogers. Is that what it's called? Because burgers.
The Key Burger Bar.
And Boogie.
And Boogie.
It's called the Key Burger Bar and Boogie.
I'm glad I was here to help you work that out.
There actually is, it's funny, I ordered a sandwich. I had the buffalo chicken tacos, I think. And the person who gave the order or placed the order, his name is Boogie. And he's actually performing tonight at the Boogie Bar.
Oh, stop.
He's a musician. Boogie's playing at the Boogie.
Well,
and it's free.
That's
free.
Wow.
Free?
November
is free. Friday and Saturday nights. Music every Friday and Saturday is all free.
When will we learn more?
Sunday morning, I'll have the whole interview at 8:20 and 9:20.
And it's 7:27, the Time Check sponsored by Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, just check the mail. We've been invited to a seminar and dinner is free.
It's going to be chicken. and it'll taste like Play-Doh.
Don't be fooled. All seminars are not the same. For example, Steve All, an investment advisor representative and founder of the All Financial Group, is hosting a taxes and retirement seminar at his office in Chesterfield on December 10th. Come meet Steve's newest advisor, Tracy Richardson, as she discusses the big beautiful bill, taxes on your Social Security, and more. Tracy will not only cover the hurdles you can face in retirement, but ways to keep more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's. This is a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
You know, hon, I've always been interested in us buying a timeshare.
I'd rather eat Play-Doh.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Debt payments keeping you up at night. Credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, it can all add up and feel impossible to keep up. If you owe $10,000 or more in unsecured debt, J.G. Wentworth may be able to help you and put you on the path to freedom in as little as 24 to 48 months. Imagine one affordable monthly payment instead of juggling multiple bills and creditors. We've helped thousands of people cut their debt by up to 50% before fees, and we don't get paid unless we reduce your debt. The more you owe, the more you could save. Call 877-CASH now. The call is free, the consultation is free, and there's no obligation to sign up. Call today for your free consultation. 877-CASH now. That's 877-CASH now. Don't wait. Every day you delay could cost you more. Call 877-CASH now today. Results vary, not all debts qualify. Debt resolution impacts credit and may increase what you owe. Average savings before fees 43%, 25% after fees. The choice to stop paying creditors is yours. J.G. Wentworth does not pay debts or provide legal, tax, or credit repair services.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
At 7:31, we have mostly sunny skies and 51 degrees downtown at the Gateway Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow.
I'm Debbie Monterrey, and here is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the only trouble spot we've had this morning, folks, is going to be westbound 44 at Antire, and there's still no change there. Still the two left lanes getting by. Right lane's blocked. The big rig tow truck dealing with the tractor trailer that caught fire about 2.5 hours ago on westbound 44. Obviously, the fire's out. The jam's a lot better. And now that we have a couple lanes getting through, it's not even midway back to 141. So a shorter backup westbound 44. And again, as it has been all morning, eastbound 44 continues to look great. Northbound 55, there's a little slowdown into 67. It's slow approaching M about midway up the hill to Imperial. That's where they had a crash. I believe it's on the shoulder. It's sort of hard to see from my vantage point, but it looks like over on the right-hand side, not blocking anything. North 55, just a little busy. North of Bales to River to Pear. North 270 is just a little slow as you approach Manchester. Eastbound 64, east of 364 through Winghaven is bogged down. Westbound 64, Big Bend through Hanley is a little slow at the Interbelt. Eastbound 70, Blanchette Bridge and Earth City area kind of busy. Downtown, there's a brief slowdown. Westbound 64, just Route 3 onto the Poplar, so that's not bad. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather forecast, mostly sunny this afternoon with a high near 80 degrees. Yes, I said 80 degrees. Tomorrow's high about 77, and then it'll be more seasonal Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, temperatures around 60. The record for tomorrow, by the way, is 81, set in 1971. We could have some showers early next week. Right now, it is 51 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Some 3,200 IAM District 837 members are heading back to work. Union members ratified Boeing's latest offer ahead of the vote. 40-year union machinist Marshall Daniels told KMOX he believes the strike sent a message.
You just can't push people around and give your big people hundreds of $1 million signing bonuses for doing nothing but pushing paper. And we wanted to show them that we do matter.
A statement from union leadership reads in part, IAM District 837 members stood strong and united for more than 3 months. We thank our bargaining committee for their tireless efforts and appreciate the unwavering support of our members, their families, the St. Louis community, our labor allies, and elected officials throughout this fight.
Demolition has begun for the downtown hotel, once known for its top floor revolving restaurant.
It's only a small section on one of the smaller structures in the back of the hotel that has been turned to a pile of rubble. But that rubble represents the beginning of the end for the Millennium Hotel, the once historic hotel in downtown St. Louis across from the Gateway Arch National Park. The deconstruction will take some time, as crews could be seen earlier today hosing down parts of the hotel so they could demolish it because there's asbestos found in the building. So they will have to be careful during the abatement process. Eventually coming in the place of this hotel is a mixed-use development that's set to bring office, retail, and residential space to the area and also create greater connectivity between the Gateway Arch National Park and Ballpark Village and Busch Stadium. Outside the Millennium Hotel, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Coming up, we have your Bloomberg Money Minute. It is 7:34.
St. Louis, meet your new favorite way to start the day. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It is now 7:35. Thanks for tuning in to Total Information AM on this Friday morning. It's time for your money report, sponsored this hour by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Let's make a deal. Merck buying Sedera Therapeutics. The price tag, $9.2 billion. This works out to $221.50 per share in cash. Sedera is a biotech company developing a treatment for the flu. Merck's been seeking all sorts of deals to refill its pipeline as it prepares for lower prices and generic competition for its blockbuster cancer drug, Keytruda. Well, this news is helping push oil prices higher. A U.S. defense official says Iranian forces seized an oil tanker sailing in the Gulf of Oman. They've been diverting the vessel toward the country's territorial waters. After it passed the Strait of Hormuz, the ship was intercepted by Islamic Revolutionary Guard. NASDAQ futures ahead of the cash open on Wall Street down 1.3%. And Nike has ended its Wellness Week initiative, which gave employees an extra week off every year to promote mental health and wellness. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the Our Idea is Ready to Launch vision. This is the Create Great Jobs vision. This is the We Need More Space vision. This is Busey, where your business visions become realizations. Through securing capital for growth and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future. Because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
In St. Louis, the weather can change in an instant. One day, you're under a thunderstorm warning. The next, it's an ice storm. Stay prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws your way. When weather threatens, the KMOX Storm Center has expert forecasts and live reports, here to keep you safe and informed. Don't get caught off guard. Know your weather. The KMOX Storm Center, sponsored by
Saliga Heating and Cooling.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-693-3109. 800-693-3109. Again, that's 800-693-3109.
At Hardee's, every Tuesday is now Tender Bender Tuesday. Right now, download the Hardee's app and join My Rewards. Buy 3 hand-breaded chicken tenders, get 3 free. It's Tender Bender BOGO every Tuesday now through June 2026. This Tuesday, get 3 tenders free. Next Tuesday, get them free. The Tuesday after that, you guessed it, free. Buy 3 tenders, get 3 free. Another great benefit for My Rewards members. Only at Hardee's. Registration and app required. Available for limited time at participating restaurants. See app for terms.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
For residential and commercial heating repair, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Sunday, the Chiefs head to Denver to face the Broncos.
Sightman Cancer Center game time, 2 p.m. Sightman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The Chiefs, the Broncos. Catch all the action here on your home for Chiefs football. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At 7:40, traffic and weather together. Let's see how the roads look on this Friday morning. Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they look great with the exception of westbound 44, Scott. This traffic reports the service of Amon, Gantner, and Capriano, because that's the only real trouble spot, the only highway trouble spot we've had all morning. That westbound 44 at Antire is still just the 2 left lanes getting through, but because the 2 left lanes are open and it's westbound, there's a shorter jam now. It's maybe a third of the way back to 141, so more as you approach Antire than anything else. Northbound 55 is a little slow approaching 67. Still a little bit of a backup both sides of Highway M, midway up the hill to Imperial. We had a minor crash in the area there, and then it's slow. Bayless up to River to Pear. North 270 is a little busy north of Gravois. Slow stuff Doherty Ferry to Manchester. South 270 approaching Olive down to Ladue is slow. If you're on eastbound 64, 364 through Winghaven, westbound 64 in the work zone approaching Winghaven's a little heavy. 64 between Clarkson and Timberlake and through the Interbelt's a little busy. Westbound 64 from Clayton Skinker headed out through Hanley, a little slow, but other than that, the rest of the highways look pretty good. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Amon, Gantner, and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. Hi, Margaret with Amon, Gantner, and Capriano. Before you packed your child off to college, did you get a power of attorney for them? Amon, Gantner, and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
It is now 7:42, and if you head outside later today, you might be asking yourself, wait, what time of year is it? What's the date today? Because it's going to feel a little summery. Let's check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg.
Yeah, it's what I would consider aseasonal or unseasonably warm. You look at the high that we're projecting today, it's more like mid-September, 80 degrees, not November 14th, but it is what it is, and we get a couple of days to enjoy this kind of unusual warmth before reality sets back in and temperatures that are more akin to what we would see at this time of the year return to the fold starting on Sunday. Today, lots of sunshine up to 80. The record is 81. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, breezy, balmy, lows in the upper 50s to low 60s. Tomorrow, breezy, unseasonably warm, clouds and sun early, mostly sunny in the afternoon, the high 77. Plenty of sunshine Sunday, just a lot cooler, the high 61. And we stay in the 50s on Monday with clouds and sun and maybe an afternoon shower. Upper 50s again on Tuesday with cloud, limited sun and the chance of a shower. 53 at St. Peter's, 55 in Florissant, mainly sunny, 55 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
That's 4. Count them, 4 MVPs for Shohei Ohtani. I'm Brian Feldman. Is he going to be the best ever? Let's chat about it coming up in 2 minutes in sports.
It is 7:43. Months after collecting for their Thanksgiving distribution day, it was almost quashed by thieves who broke in 3 times at the St. Luke's Baptist Food Pantry in Grand Center. 150 chickens were taken from their freezers. It was only after the 3rd break-in where police showed up to file a report. Stuart McMillan spoke with the director, Carlton McKinney Jr. He says some big donations came in this week to allow them to give out the food tomorrow.
Normally, they can just come in, go shopping, go back out the door. But because of the break-ins and because we haven't got the windows and everything fixed, the pastor and I say, you know what, let's just go ahead and have them, do a drive-by. They'll go in, get their bags.
And you don't have to break in to get food.
You do not have to break in to get food. My name is on the flyers. If you need food, call me. I can either say, hey, we don't have it today, but I can meet you in a few days.
St. Luke's Food Pantry at Grand and Finney will be handing out Thanksgiving food bags on a first-come, first-served basis tomorrow from 8 to 10:30.
With the news that the government shutdown has ended, Rhonda Homnebergy, director of St. Louis Lambert International Airport, says paychecks will be coming soon to those who've been going without.
Well, we're excited, obviously, mainly for the employees because they've been working without paychecks. So it was a big relief to them. We had not seen a lot of the troubles that some of the other airports had. Our teams were really good about coming to work, but at some point it was going to take its toll.
Congress has passed a spending plan to get the federal government up and running again, with Missouri's delegation voting along party lines. Kansas City Democratic Congressman Emanuel Cleaver opposed the compromise. He says it's because Republicans have not promised to extend Affordable Care Act tax credits.
North Kansas City, Independence, Gladstone, Raytown, Grandview are places that I represent. And they helped Upper Midwest invent the American dream. And that dream is going to become a nightmare if we are not able to expand those tax credits.
Missouri's Republican members backed the compromise. It would fund much of the government through January and provide funding for SNAP and other agencies through the end of September 2026.
Good morning. I'm Brian Feldman filling in for Tom Ackerman. Some big changes coming soon for St. Louis City SC and Major League Soccer. In order to coincide with other top soccer leagues around the world, MLS shifting its schedule to a different time of the year. Instead of starting in winter and ending in the fall, it'll start in the summer and end in the spring. This will all begin in 2027 after the league's board of directors voted yesterday in overwhelming fashion. It'll create more cold weather games for cities like St. Louis, but City SC says fans should only expect a slight increase in those types of home matches. On to baseball, Shohei Ohtani just might one day be considered the greatest ever. The Dodger star locks up his 4th, count them 4, unanimous MVP awards. Only Barry Bonds has won more in baseball history. The 31-year-old takes all 30 first-place votes in the National League from the Baseball Writers Association of America. He's now won 3 straight, dating back to his time with the Angels. In the American League, Aaron Judge claims MVP for the 3rd time. Yankees star edges Seattle's Cal Raleigh after smacking 53 home runs with an 1,100-plus OPS this past season. On the ice, the Blues host the Flyers tonight at Enterprise Center. Face-off set for 7 p.m. The Note beat Calgary 3-2 earlier this week to rebound from a disastrous loss in overtime to Seattle last weekend. NFL action, the Patriots moved to 9-2 on the year after taking down the Jets at home 27-14. Running back Travion Henderson finds the end zone 3 times, while quarterback Drake May throws for a score himself. It's New England's 8th straight win, the longest since Tom Brady was there. Down in college, Mizzou hosts Mississippi State tomorrow night in Columbia. The Tigers unranked after losing its third game of the year last week to Texas A&M, bringing its record to 6-3, 2-3 in SEC play. Kickoff set for 6:45 tomorrow. And in college soccer, Maryville University's women's team in the semifinals of the GLVC tournament tonight. The Saints take on McKendree at Creve Coeur Park at 7 p.m. Head coach Lori Lawson in her 7th season leading the team. The St. Louis native, a member of the U.S. women's national team that won the 2015 World Cup in Canada. With reports at 15 and 45 past the hour, I'm Brian Feldman on your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball, KMOX.
This holiday, give the gift that lasts all season long. Cardinals ticket packs are on sale now, starting at 5, 6, and 10 games. All packs include 2026's top games and favorite giveaways. Backed by popular demand, choose from the opening day pack or the bobblehead pack. Check out the Cubs pack, weekend pack, or apparel pack. There's a pack for everyone. Find your perfect gift right now at cardinals.com/tickets.
And that's grounded up the middle. Diving play. Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws. He got him.
Busch Stadium isn't just a ballpark. It's where St. Louis comes alive. It's where every pitch matters and every cheer feels like home. Season tickets put you right at the heart of it all. And now there's a new way to be all in. Introducing 20-game season ticket plans. Get all the season ticket benefits with more flexibility than ever. Don't miss your chance to own your piece of 2026. Learn more at cardinals.com/ticket.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve at Enterprise Center December 23rd at 3 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. A portion of the proceeds benefit Sightman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve at Enterprise Center December 23rd at 3 p.m. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At 7:50, an update on the roads from Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have our delays on 44. It's slowly getting better because the volume's diminishing, but still only the 2 left lanes getting by, Scott. Westbound 44 at Antire from that earlier tractor-trailer fire. Again, it's jammed about a third of the way back to 141. Earlier it was almost all the way back to 141. Northbound 55 looking pretty good. Now, they did just call out EMS for an incident right around Richardson Road between Imperial and Richardson. Again, I don't see any delays through there. Northbound 55 just has a short backup between Bales and Weber. North 270 just a touch slow north of Gravois, and then there's slow stuff from right around Manchester up to Ladue. South 270, Olive to Ladue, a little busy. Slow traffic both ways. It's actually kind of backed up. 44 east of 364 through Winghaven, midway into K. The westbound side, of course, is road work. And then 64 is still slow. Clarkson to Timberlake. Westbound 64, Science Center to Big Bend. You've got heavy traffic. South 170, a little busy at Olive. And at the Parkway, eastbound 70, just some slow traffic right around Earth City. And westbound 64, we have I believe it's a crash near 37th Street. Traffic is jammed right now at 111. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather-wise, it's going to feel maybe hot today, high around 80 degrees. 81 is the record set back in 1971. Mostly sunny skies today. And tomorrow we'll hit maybe 77. Then Sunday it cools back down to 61 for a high. It's 54 degrees out there right now with sunshine.
The news continues at 7:52. A KMOX exclusive follow-up on Ameren, Missouri, disconnecting more than 17,000 residents for just the month of November.
We told you yesterday about how Consumers Council of Missouri found that Ameren, Missouri had the most disconnections of any utility statewide. KMOX wanted to interview someone at Ameren about the council's concerns. However, Ameren, Missouri did not do an interview, instead issuing a statement from Steve Wills. In part, it reads, "We are committed to providing safe, reliable, and affordable electric and natural gas service to all of our customers. We look forward to working with the community partners, stakeholders, and regulators to develop solutions that help community members while balancing affordability for all customers." Wills then adds, "We've collaborated with hundreds of partners in the community across Missouri and Illinois to assist our customers in acquiring over $105 million in energy assistance grants this year. Customers can still apply for those grants." Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
Former Congresswoman Cori Bush says encouragement from voters and a natural disaster are why she's running to reclaim her old seat.
While assisting at a food bank, former U.S. Congresswoman Cori Bush tells us that she decided to run again in part because there remains a need to help people after the tornado.
My team would have been out. How my team would have been working. We embedded when there was something that happened at a senior home here in the district. We had people from our office who embedded with that senior home to make sure people were able to get housing for a month.
Congresswoman Bush says this approach is more of what a post-tornado St. Louis needs at this time. In Lewis Place, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says state workers are scrambling to get aid flowing to people receiving food assistance. This, of course, after the end of the government shutdown. He says the state has constantly been adjusting those benefits in response to court rulings.
Originally, it was 0, went to 50%, 65%, back to 50%, though some people weren't going to get any at all. Now we're back to 100%.
Details about how state agencies plan to cut spending this year haven't been released weeks after they were submitted to the governor's office. Capital News Illinois reports that most state agencies were supposed to submit plans to Governor Pritzker by October 23rd that outline how they will reduce spending and reserve up to 4% of their budgets. A spokesperson for Pritzker said the governor's budget office is still reviewing those plans.
There's a new ranking of hospitals, and Illinois is moving up on the list. Here's Cisco Cotto.
A year ago, Illinois was 23rd in hospital safety. The year before that, it was 30th. But the state is climbing the ranks. It's now 17th nationwide. The Tribune reports the state's percentage of A-graded hospitals has increased, but 4 Illinois hospitals got Fs for safety. Those are Weiss Memorial, West Suburban Medical Center, Roseland Community Hospital, and St. Mary's in Decatur. Weiss is shut down, although the owner says he hopes to reopen it. Among safety items examined, hand hygiene, the number of falls, and the death rate among people who had surgery, but their conditions were treatable.
It is now 7:55. You're listening to Total Information AM.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. Thanks to supporters like you, children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach incredible milestones. Please donate today at treeofhope.org.
I'm Larry Magid with the Connect Safely report. A report from the American Psychological Association looked at how technology is changing teen friendships. There's some good news. Online friendships can be real and meaningful, especially for teens who feel isolated. But there is the risk of imbalance when digital interactions start replacing face-to-face connections. And when it comes to making friends with AI, says Connect Safely Education Director Carrie Gallagher,
friendships with AI are not the same as human friendships because they're programmed to be agreeable. And so the healthy struggle that comes with a relationship with a human is not a part of it. It's easier, but it isn't as satisfying as real, messy human friendship.
encourage kids to take breaks and talk with them about how they use AI chatbots. More at connectsafely.org/radio. With the Connect Safely report, I'm Larry Magid for CBS News.
Just before 8 o'clock, let's get an update on the commute. Roger Brand's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have the same situation, Scott, on the Highway 44 westbound. Still just the two left lanes getting through at Antire. There's a short jam there on westbound 44. It's not even midway back to 141, maybe a third of the way back at most. They're sending emergency crews now for a crash on North 270 just north of Manchester. There's a jam about midway between Doherty Ferry and Manchester on North 270 right now, so be prepared for that. And we still have this crash on the Illinois side. It's westbound 64 at 37th Street. The two right lanes are blocked and traffic is jamming there approaching 111, so be prepared for that delay as well. Next update at 8:10 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is 7:59, and you're listening to Total Information AM on this Friday morning. I'm Debbie Monterrey, and some federal employees could find back pay accrued during the government shutdown in their bank accounts as soon as Sunday.
I'm Scott Jagow.
Ameren, Missouri leads the pack in disconnections statewide. I'm Maria Aquino with their response.
After thieves stole 150 chickens from a Grand Center food pantry, hear how last-minute donations are saving their annual Thanksgiving distribution.
Sources tell CBS President Trump has given options for Operation Southern Spear, military action against Venezuela.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. A gorgeous day today with plenty of sunshine and a warm afternoon high near 80.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Advice from someone who's been through it before to Southern Californians bracing for a blow from a powerful Pacific storm.
Everybody do what you got to do to prepare, be safe. Hunker down, make sure you pick up everything you need as far as food.
That man in Forest Falls, hard hit by deadly wildfires earlier this year, is in the danger zone again. Correspondent Carter Evans from the Palisades.
It's going to continue all day, and if this storm is as big as it is expected to be, it could be LA's wettest November in 40 years. And authorities have been encouraging people to map out their evacuation plans ahead of the storm so they're ready to go if those floodwaters hit.
Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of only 4 Republicans who helped force a vote to release all of the files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. She tells CBS Mornings it was for his victims.
These women have been waiting, some of them for decades. I talked to several victims that were raped by Jeffrey Epstein back in the 90s. And so this is information that has needed to come out for a very long time.
Federal workers are returning to their desks after the 43-day-old government shutdown.
I'm happy to see all my coworkers again. I brought in some pastries.
They'll be able to start paying bills soon. Correspondent Jared Hill.
The White House says more than 1 million federal employees who were not paid will start receiving back pay as early as Sunday.
The president has promised bonuses for air traffic controllers who stayed on the job during the shutdown. Next year's college grads may be facing an even tougher time finding work than this year's batch.
More than half of the 183 companies polled by the National Association of Colleges and Employers rated the job market for the class of 2026 as poor or fair. That's the worst outlook since the pandemic began. Companies say economic uncertainty has them hiring more conservatively. Plus, they have AI doing entry-level jobs. University of Alabama graduate Gianna Rinaldo.
I don't have the experience needed, even with all the internships.
Many companies are cutting jobs, so grads will face even more competition. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Planning a family? Money may very well be factoring into your decision. The New American Family Survey finds 7 in 10 Americans now believe raising children is too expensive. That's a 13 percentage point jump from last year and marks the first time in the survey's 11 years Americans list finances as the top reason that capped or planned the cap side of their bruise. The majority cites rising costs twice as often as any other factor. This is CBS News.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides
Gal.
And I'm Debbie Monterrey. We have a follow-up this morning on Ameren, Missouri turning people's power off, something that's concerning the Consumers Council of Missouri.
Sandra Padgett is Executive Director of Consumers Council of Missouri, and this is what she told us about the disconnections with Ameren, Missouri.
Once again, Ameren has disconnected many households in Missouri, and this is Ameren, Missouri. And in November of 2025, they disconnected 17,347 households.
KMOX requested an interview with Ameren, Missouri. However, instead, they sent us a statement from Steve Wills, Director of Regulatory Affairs, that reads in part, quote, "We've collaborated with hundreds of partners in communities across Missouri and Illinois to assist our customers in People can still apply for the funding, though. Missouri's Public Service Commission is looking at utility affordability customer programs. The PSC wants all investor-owned electric, natural gas, water, and sewer corporations that operate an assistance program to respond with information on their customer assistance programs today. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Striking union machinists are ratifying a new contract with Boeing to make fighter jets.
The deal ends in over 100-day-long strike with a new 5-year contract approved by 68% of the union. Marshall Daniels has been with the union for over 40 years and believes the strike was worth it.
I feel it was very much worth it. It should let the big companies know that you just can't push people around.
In a statement, IAM District 837 said, quote, "We're proud of what our members have fought for together and are ready to get back to building the world's most advanced military aircraft." Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Airport Director Rhonda Homnebergy says it was a relief to tell staff at Lambert International that the government shutdown had ended and that checks would be coming out.
Just the fact that we can share with them and they know that it's over, their paychecks are going to be coming in the near future, I think is huge for us to be able to continue operations.
The director says it'll take a couple of days for most of the airlines to get back in shape and to get planes in the right places.
The federal government is on track to reopen for business. The U.S. House passed the spending plan on Wednesday, but it was without the backing of Kansas City Democrat Emanuel Cleaver. He says it's because the legislation does not extend affordable care tax credits.
These skyrocketing premiums are going to wreak havoc all over the state of Missouri, including and most particularly the small towns where they have hospitals that are just not going to be able to stay open.
Missouri's Republican House members supported the plan.
Illinois Governor Pritzker says state workers are scrambling to get aid flowing to people receiving food assistance following the end of the shutdown. He says the state has constantly been adjusting those benefits in response to court rulings during the shutdown.
Originally, it was 0, went to 50%, 65%, back to 50%, though some people weren't going to get any at all. Now we're back to 100%.
150 frozen chickens were stolen from a food pantry in Grand Center. This was just before the big Thanksgiving event that is planned for this Saturday.
First window that broke out was this one.
This is Stuart McMillan. No one has been caught for the 3 break-ins that happened last week and Sunday at St. Luke's Memorial Missionary Baptist Church food pantry. St. Louis City Police did not file a report until the front door had been smashed on Sunday. Pantry director Carlton McKinney says he's overwhelmed by those who have stepped up to replace what was lost.
A couple of corporations have reached out and was like, what do you need? What can we give? And it's just, wow. It's like, wow, we are backing up offshore, even though now we have a security system in place now. Thank God.
This Saturday morning is when they'll be handing out those Thanksgiving food bags from 8 until 10:30. First come, first serve. And don't let Google Maps fool you. Grand is back open, and you can take Finney to where St. Luke's Pantry is located.
The business desk sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. Alton bars won't be able to stay open as late in the new year as the Alton City Council removes part of the city's liquor ordinance. Soon, all bars will have to close at 1 a.m. Currently, they can stay open on weekends until 3. For much of the summer, there were problems late at night. Increased police presence helped, according to some business owners, but it wasn't a financially sustainable solution. Hiram's Bar and Poor Decisions already had their late-night liquor licenses yanked over the summer by Mayor David Goins, who is also the city's liquor commissioner. Poor Decisions has since permanently closed.
Well, no good decisions happen after midnight.
That's
we know
what my
that.
mom always told me.
Coming up next, traffic and weather together. It's 8:08.
Missouri, get ready. FanDuel, which is America's #1 sports book, is coming soon. And starting December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. So from touchdowns to home runs to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. And with live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game has already started, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. FanDuel is the best way to game day, and it's coming soon to Missouri. Just visit FanDuel.com/promo code to learn more. This way you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/promo code. Play your game with FanDuel, the #1 rated sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's go to the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Good morning, Roger Brand.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Things are still about status quo on Highway 44, unfortunately. That's where we had the early morning tanker truck fire westbound 44 at Antire. Still just the 2 left lanes open, a shorter backup, but there's still a jam going up the hill toward Antire. And there's delays now. I'll just call it a slowdown, but delays both directions on 44 west of 141. We have a crash in the median, and we have emergency crews staged on the inside shoulders, both directions there on Highway 44. The left lane's blocked by a crash north 270 north of Manchester. Traffic's a solid jam back through Doherty Ferry because of that one. Northbound 55, there's just a little slowdown at Z, a little slowdown at Bayless. If you're on eastbound 64 and westbound 64, delays through the Winghaven area. It's actually heavier westbound, almost midway between K and Winghaven westbound. Eastbound 64, brief delays at the Interbelt. We still have this crash on the Illinois side. Westbound 64 at 37th Street, the right lanes are blocked. Traffic backed up pretty close to 255 because of that one. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, mostly sunny today and becoming warmer with a high pushing 80. The record is 81, set in 1971. Through to partly cloudy, breezy, and quite balmy tonight, though 58 to 62. Tomorrow, breezy and unseasonably warm, clouds and sun in the morning. Mostly sunny in the afternoon, the high 77. The record is 81, set in 1971. Nice day Sunday, mostly sunny, but much cooler, the high only 61. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Time for the Friday edition of Hancock and Kelley.
You two belong together.
John Hancock, Michael Kelley on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Good morning, John Hancock.
What's cooking, big boy?
Not much. How was your week?
My week has been delightful. And that's a fine shirt you've got on there.
Can you see me?
No.
I'm in camouflage.
I know.
It's not that bad though, is it? It's
No,
kind
I
of
like
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now I'm questioning my fashion choices. My buddy John Hancock says I'm dressed okay. Boy, John, this week has been crazy, right? So we started off with thinking that there was maybe going to be some type of end to the budget showdown that took place.
Yeah.
And in fact, there was 7 Democrats flipped, including our own Dick Durbin, joined the Republicans, forced this to bring an end to the budget fight. House Democrats were mad. People are calling for the resignation of Chuck Schumer. Republicans were declaring victory and saying, hey, look, we could have done this 40 days ago and not caused all this pain. Who won the budget showdown?
Well, I think everybody's in their own camps. I thought weeks and weeks and weeks ago that passing the clean continuing resolution, which is ultimately what Democrats did, there are a handful of them, that has been the pattern and practice of these government shutdowns, for the last couple of decades. You pass a short-term spending, you keep things as they are, and you keep the doors open and the government runs. It's not a good way to run a railroad, but I don't know that anybody won the shutdown. But I think, that there was about to be some real pain inflicted on a whole lot of these government employees and people on food assistance and so forth. And I think nobody wanted to stomach that.
Well, typically these shutdowns, political prognosticators say, the Democrats won this one because the Republicans, and it's typically the people who close down who ultimately lose. Let me posit this argument. I actually think this was a really productive shutdown for the Democrats. Yes, it caused intense amount of pain, but for 40 days they talked about rising healthcare costs.
Yeah.
And regardless of what's going to happen as it relates to the extension of Obamacare credits, people are going to get their invoices for healthcare in the upcoming year. And we know because of inflation and because of rising costs, it's going to go up. I feel as though the Democrats have almost made the Republicans the face of rising healthcare costs.
Well, it's interesting because I assumed that Republicans at some point would bring back those subsidies to keep the premiums down for folks. A lot of the people that are receiving those Obamacare subsidies are Republican voters in Republican states. So I just kind of thought that the GOP would get its act together and do something to avert catastrophe. But clearly that may not happen now.
Well, and the extension now takes us through January 31st. Just to put a bow on this, do you think we're going to have Groundhog Day at the end of January next year, be back into another budget shutdown?
Good. We're full born now, now that the 2025 elections are done. We're full born into the midterms. And the midterms are looking like they're going to be pretty dicey for the GOP. They usually are for the party that's in power. Yeah.
Mike Johnson came out of hiding this week as the budget shutdown came about. He brought Congress back after over 40 days out. He swore in the congressperson who'd been waiting for 30 days. She happened to be the final vote that was needed to discharge the Epstein files. She signed that on the day she was sworn in. Now we hear there may be significant break inside the Republican caucus to support the release of the Epstein files, which, by the way, this was a flyer that Donald Trump fanned. He used this to get elected. Many of these representatives who were trying to stop a vote on the Epstein files on the Republican side were the ones who created the firestorm about Epstein. here we're going to find ourselves now with the Republicans moving forward and lots of Republicans potentially bolting on the president. Final observation: the president's not acting like somebody who's pure and innocent here, and I don't think anybody thinks he is, but he's working really hard to act like this can't come out.
Yeah, I had assumed, particularly given the fact that the rhetoric, and you look at Donald Trump's rhetoric on Epstein and Donald Trump Jr.'s rhetoric on Epstein, J.D. Vance's rhetoric on Epstein, I had assumed that, there might be some embarrassing stuff in those files for Donald Trump. And we've already seen, remember the birthday card thing.
Well, that wasn't real.
That he sent. Yeah, well, and now we've seen the emails that have leaked out. And the fact that Trump has worked so hard that they didn't swear in Gravalva or whatever her name is, the new congresswoman, for over a month, that he brought Lauren Boebert into the Situation Room to try and convince her to take her name off the discharge petition. I mean, those kinds of actions lead me to really wonder what the heck is in this stuff, and how bad is it? It's got to be bad, but how bad is it? And I assume we're going to find out. You got to assume that the Justice Department's going to release everything if the discharge petition is adopted. But I have to believe it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and here we are. It appears as though it's going to have a flood of folks that vote for it. Then it goes to the Senate, where President Trump will try to stop it as well. But I feel like the Republicans are going to be in the same spot. There's going to be pressure coming. And what's crazy is the pressure is coming from Republicans on Republicans to release the Epstein files. Hey, John, in the midst of all this, President Trump and nearly everybody inside of administration and all of his secretaries are out telling you that prices are down. What you're seeing on your bill at the grocery store isn't real. That they're combating inflation.
I'd be delighted if my grocery bills weren't real.
Yeah. So, but how long can you be Baghdad Bob telling people what's actually happening to them isn't working and recycling the same old argument that this is Joe Biden's problem when it's been 9 months of your policy?
Well, and it's what's ironic to me is inflation is something you can't lie your way out of. Joe Biden tried to do that, remember, telling us that things weren't really that bad. It was transitory inflation. It was, but people go to the store. People have to buy stuff. And I mean, you feel inflation. It's a tax. Higher prices, and everybody feels it. And so you can tell people all you want that the prices are down, but nobody's going to buy it because they're buying stuff.
Do you think that affordability will be the same issue it was in the elections this year, next year?
Well, a year from now, who knows? But likely, I think the cost of living, inflation, those pocketbook issues are always reign supreme. There's no question about it. It's Michael Kelley, and I'm John Hancock. We're almost 100 years old here at the Voice of St. Louis, but let's get a check on the road. Let's go to the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center Captain Roger Brand.
Well, we're still busy on 44, John, with a few problems. This traffic reports service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. A couple of problems, actually. No change on westbound 44 to Antire. Still just the two left lanes open from the earlier tractor-trailer fire. Traffic's backed up maybe about a third of the way to 141. And just east of Antire, eastbound 44 backs up coming into 141 because of a crash in the median. They have the left shoulder shut down both directions there. Northbound 55, the on-ramp from Highway Z to North 55, we have an injury crash. Traffic is jammed back pretty close to McNutt because of that one. They're still working the crash with injuries. North 270, north of Manchester, left lane was blocked. That jam goes back to Big Bend now. We still have a roadwork jam westbound 64 west of K to Winghaven. Eastbound 64 is still heavy at the Interbelt. South 170 slow at Brentwood. And still have this crash westbound 64 at 37th Street. On the Illinois side, traffic there is jammed at 111. Times are always changing, but Penn Mutual stands the test of time. The 178-year Young Mutual Company is leading the way in life insurance. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Next update at 8:30 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunny skies and 57 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome back to Total Information AM. John, a dozen days from today is one of the best nights in all of St. Louis.
Yeah, and it's just become such a great part of this community for so many years now, talking about Guns and Hoses.
Guns and Hoses, and one of the board members and committee members of Guns and Hoses, which does so much for our first responders right here in St. Louis. Also throwing one of the greatest parties in St. Louis is Kim Besserman. Kim, thanks so much for coming in studio.
Thanks, John, and Mike, for having me. We appreciate it.
Grateful to have you. Guns and Hoses is just right around the corner. We all know that we raise tons of money for first responders. Tell us what it does. Guns and Hoses does. All that money goes to the Backstoppers.
It does. Every nickel, every penny that we make, all the volunteers we have, nobody gets paid. All the money goes to families that are covered by Backstoppers. Right now, we support 100 families, 75 children, and they get all kinds of financial support, including tuition assistance, medical assistance, whatever. And of course, this coming Wednesday, November 26th, at the Enterprise Center, home of the St. Louis Blues. Doors open at 4:30. First fight is at 5:30. We have 13 bouts, and we have boxing and MMA. And we have a special thing this year where we actually have a couple fighters, a man and a woman from Kansas City. So it's kind of a challenge this year. And I have about 50 cents bet on that fight.
So if people wanted to be able to buy tickets, they can go down to the Enterprise box office, of course, but also they could go to
www.stlgunsandhoses.com, and you can buy them right off of there. They'll take credit cards, they'll do whatever, but we still have tickets available. Last year we had over 17,000 in the seats, which is
that's
great
remarkable.
tribute. Yeah, and this is our 38th anniversary, and just to tell you, we had 4-peat last year, which means we gave $1 million for 4 years in a row. We've got some new sponsors this year, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to give Backstoppers at least another $1 million this year.
Well, and FanDuel just kicked in $300,000.
Oh,
this
fantastic!
week.
We did a little press conference at Enterprise. They uncovered a check, and everybody in the room was amazed that they come on.
It's really just remarkable what's happened. Not only are you raising $1 million, it's generated this whole network of support of backstoppers, and it's even being replicated around the country.
It is, and they don't quite do it the way we do it, but we had many local sponsors, but we're now getting national sponsors, which is tremendous, and it's a lot of work done by our Dave Stokes. Event, and we're on KTVI 2 now, broadcasting live, which is fantastic. That goes from 6:30 to 9, and you can watch it live on KTVI.
Very cool. STLgunsandhoses.com for more information. Kim Besserman is our guest. KMOX News Time is 8:27, and that is brought to you by Jerry Kelley Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Swing and a home run to left.
There, when legends were born.
The first Major League home run for Albert Pujols.
Pujols hits a high fly ball. That's deep. Left center field. It's a gunner.
Swinging another home run. There it is, his third of the game. Albert Pujols, 5 for 5 with 3 home runs.
Pujols swings and he drives this one left field down the line, and it's a gunner. Home run 703.
And to all you, Cardinal Nation, best fans in baseball, thank you.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Achieve more with competitive rates on savings and lending. Visit togethercu.org.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
This fall, get a taste of what's to come at Dragonstone, an exclusive new Lombardo Homes community in Darden Prairie, west of Highway K and south of 364. Join us Saturday, November 15th at our Inverness display in O'Fallon for a grand opening celebration filled with treats, a cozy coffee bar, mini pumpkin pies, and a first look. Dragonstone, building Tradition Series homes and offering only 5 spacious home sites. Dragonstone offers luxury and privacy, as well as the convenience of living just minutes from Highway 364 and 64. Visit lombardohomes.com for more information.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Back over to the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center and Roger Brand.
Well, Michael, this traffic report's a service of Jerry Kelley Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing. If you're traveling on northbound 270, it looks like they cleared that crash we had north of Manchester. There's still delays as you come up from about Big Bend to Doherty Ferry. It's opening up north of Doherty Ferry. Still delays both directions. That crash in the median 44 west of 141. Eastbound is slow east of Antire, and westbound at about the same point that the eastbound delays begin. Westbound continues to be heavy out to Antire because only the 2 left lanes still open from that earlier semi-fire. Northbound 55, I think they cleared that crash just north of Z. It's hard for me to tell, but there's still a solid jam back south of the Joachim Creek, pretty close to McNutt, so just be prepared. There's still a backup but not much change there. Westbound 64 is still slow. West of K through Winghaven due to roadwork. Eastbound 64 a little heavy at the Interbelt. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64 on the brakes, 111 to 37th Street. That crash was in the right lanes. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, it's going to be a high of 80 degrees today on the 14th of November. Can you believe it? Breezy and balmy tonight, low 58 to 62.
From now on, if you spring a leak, need a water heater, or have hard water,
Thanks for calling Jerry Kelley Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Jerry Kelley will fix the leak, install the thing, and make that hard water easy. From the company who's got your whole home covered.
JerryKelley.com.
John, you can't go without seeing the news almost every night about the ICE and the deportation raids that are taking place, but it has had some human consequences to so many, including a young family here in St. Louis.
Yeah, this is my daughter's friend. I told the story. He had a good job in a restaurant. Was a chef, and he and his wife have two young children, ages 3 and just under 1. And he was taken 3 weeks ago yesterday by ICE and arrested. They moved him 5 times. He's probably going to be incarcerated for 5 or 6 months, if not more, and then ultimately deported, hopefully, to Mexico. But the family's not really been told anything. And as you can imagine, this young fella, young father, he's in a prison cell with very hardened criminals. He can't sleep. And he's just, it's just a tragedy. It's very, very sad. And I think not unique to this family. I think there are hundreds of folks like this that are in the process of being kicked out of the country.
And this is a young man who has 2 children that are American. He thought he was American. He had gone through a process. John, he was a cook. And he needed that family needed that income. So while
he was the
sitting
breadwinner
in jail, these 2 young American kids don't have a father that's bringing in money. How are they making ends meet?
My daughter set up a GoFundMe page for them. Her family is here in St. Louis. Well, they have a place in Colorado, but I think they're probably here a lot now. All in all, it's just a tragic situation. And as I say, I unfortunately, I think there are all too many of these kinds of cases. This was about, we were told, getting rid of the criminal element in this country, and everybody's for that. I'm for it. If you're here illegally and you're breaking the law, then you shouldn't be here. But I think that these other cases ought to be on a much more of a case-by-case basis. And when the government of the United States is in the business of breaking up families, and causing real economic and personal hardship, it's wrong.
Total Information AM rolls on after that.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Bloomberg Money Report was sponsored by Eamon Gettner Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Inflation concerns and waning hope of an interest rate cut from the Fed is hurting tech stocks, especially hard again this morning. That's after yesterday's stock plunge. Paramount, Comcast, and Netflix are all preparing bids for Warner Brothers Discovery. That's ahead of a deadline this month at the media and entertainment company, according to the Wall Street Journal. Prices on bananas, coffee, beef, and some apparel and textiles could fall under Trump administration trade framework agreements with 4 Latin American countries. And that Swiss watch may cost you less going into the holidays. Switzerland and the U.S. have agreed to a new trade deal. Nike ending its Wellness Week that gave employees an extra week off a year for mental health and wellness. Reminder, though, even if they take the perks away, it's usually better to have a job than not, sources tell us. Verizon is eyeing cutting up to 20,000 jobs. Steph Curry and Under Armour are breaking up. The Warriors star brand will be independent, and Under Armour will develop its own basketball shoes and gear. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Purina presents A Century of Service.
This is KMOX Radio.
KMOX is celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining St. Louis. On November 20th, KMOX Day, we will celebrate the KMOX pioneers.
This is Jim White for your information.
Legendary voices.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Groundbreaking programming.
KMOX Radio, we're at your service.
And unforgettable moments that have defined a century of broadcasting.
We did locate Ben this afternoon, and we've also located Sean Harnbeck.
Hear from current and former KMOX personalities who have helped make this station the preeminent news, information, and sports brand in America. A century of service, celebrating 100 years of KMOX, is presented by Purina, your pet, our passion, on the voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Well, John, whatever leaves we've got, I think this may be your last week to get out and see them.
Yeah, and it feels like summer out there, doesn't it? 80 degrees today. It's going to be in the 80s tomorrow. Pretty near record temperatures in St. Louis. And the leaves are falling, though.
I'm half tempted to do an old person thing and get in the car and go for a drive on Sunday just to look at the leaves. Did you ever have to do that when you were a kid?
Yeah, we did. I kind of liked it, especially head down Highway 44. That's some good leaf watching out there. And speaking of the roads out there, let's get a check on traffic. The Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center, Captain Roger Brand.
Yeah, you can also combine it with a trip, Michael, like go up the Great River Road. That's usually pretty, and head up to Grafton and, head to the loading dock or take 94 out and stop at some of the wineries. So you can sort of combine the leaves with something else to make it a nice afternoon, I'm sure. If you're headed on the highways right now, well, it hasn't been a great morning, unfortunately. If you're on 44, we still have our incidents out there. Westbound at Antire, that tractor trailer fire from earlier still has the right lane closed. There's a jam about midway back to 141, and eastbound 44, there's a jam in the area too, east of Antire to west of 141 because of that crash on both shoulders there. If you're on northbound 55, you're bumper to bumper from McNutt up to Highway Z. That's due to an injury crash. North 270 still a little slow. North of Manchester up to Ladue, that's from an earlier incident. Roadwork, a little delay westbound 64 around Winghaven, and westbound 64 on the Illinois side. Looks like they cleared that crash at 37th Street, but it's still heavy at 111. I'm Roger Brand of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Punished for his written thoughts, starving for his fame.
That voice you hear is Annie Haslam, the lead vocalist of the great progressive rock band Renaissance. That's Mother Russia from their album from 1978. Annie, you're welcome to KMOX. Great to have you on.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are going to be in Edwardsville coming up on November 21st and 22nd at the Wildey Theater. That'll be a great concert. This band, and well, let's start with your vocal range. 5 octaves.
Yes.
How have you kept that up below these many decades?
I don't know, because I only found out recently, like a couple of years ago, that apparently a woman's voice drops at a certain time, because people say, "Why hasn't your voice dropped?" You know, what do you mean drop? No, I just, I haven't abused it. Smoked very little when I was younger. Don't drink a great deal, and I was trained by an opera singer, and that helps a lot.
You know, you could feel the classical music influences in Renaissance. So many great pieces. Are all of you classically trained at some level?
No, let me think. Not really. No, not that I can remember, because it started off, in 1969. It came out of the Yardbirds with Jim McCarthy, as you know. And but I don't believe so. I think that everybody was basically self-taught. But I know that apparently when the Yardbirds broke up, Jim was telling us that they had a break for a while because they'd been on the road for such a long time. And about 6 months later, they decided, Keith Ralph and Jim McCarthy, to start up another band, but they weren't quite sure what kind of music to do. And it was John Hawkin, who was the keyboard player, who was in rehearsals one day, and he started playing some Beethoven. And everybody went, "Oh, that's good. Why don't we do this?" And that's how it started. Yeah, which was fantastic, because when I got the job in 1971, I bought the album to learn the songs, so that when I went to the audition, I knew everything on there. The first song that I loved most was "Island," and that's got Beethoven in it as well. And I got the job the same day.
Well, I'm glad you did, because you've added greatly to that repertoire of this great band. You know, I'm a lover of progressive rock and roll, and that scene in Great Britain in the 1970s, you had the Moody Blues and Yes, and I've had the privilege of interviewing John Anderson and Rick Wakeman, both of whom are just wonderful people, in addition to musicians. Was there a community of you all, or did the band kind of keep to itself?
You know what? It's a good question, but I think because we were touring and writing and recording so much, it was constant, that we didn't really get a chance to go out and see many bands, because we were working. And when we were on the road anywhere in the world, we'd be missing each other, and everybody would have a day off when the other person was working, So it was difficult. Except there was a place on the M1 when I first joined the band, and it was called the Blue Boar. It was a service station, and all the bands used to go in there after all their different respective venues, the concerts, and it was always packed all through the night. And we used to get, I remember going in there, and Queen came in, and all these different bands. But because we were all so tired, you don't, you can say hello, but you don't, it was a shame, really. I wish we could have met more people and seen more of them, But yeah, we were very busy.
Annie Haslam is our guest, lead singer of the band Renaissance. They're going to be at the Wildey Theater in Edwardsville, November 21st and 22nd. When people buy tickets to that concert, Annie, what are they going to experience?
Well, it just came out of the blue, because actually last year that theatre hosted our last concerts, because I was going to retire the band, and I did. That were the last 2 concerts that we did, actually. And then the promoter contacted me in September and said, "I'd like to bring you back to the Wildey, but I'd like you to do like a can you do it on your own? No, I just, it was such a shock. But anyway, he really wanted to do this, so we kept thinking about how to do it. And I said, well, I don't want to just sit and talk. There has to be some music. And so we were going backwards and forwards. I didn't want to bring the band back again. It needed to be different. And in the end, all of it's like an angel tapped me on the shoulder and said, call Jim McCarthy. He started the band, and he's the one who wrote the song that got me the job. So that's how it started. And then we brought the band back into it. And so it's going to be great. We're going to start off with Jim and I talking about the history of the band. And we'll have video behind us and pictures and all kinds of things while we're doing that. And then we'll be performing 5 of Jim's songs with Renaissance. They'll come out and we'll all play together. And then we'll have a break, and then we'll do a Renaissance show.
That sounds magnificent. And it's 2 nights, the 21st and 22nd of November. Annie Haslam, the lead singer of the band Renaissance, is our guest. Got just about 30 seconds left. What do you see as the legacy of Renaissance?
Oh my! Well, I think that apart from the music, something was, the words were all very magical, but I think it was the whole of us that just put something out there that touched a lot of people. It's great music, and it's timeless. It's timeless music, like classical music is timeless. So I think that it's so beautiful. I never get tired of singing it. We're always gathering new fans. A lot of them are a lot younger than us, and people's grandchildren, I hate to say.
Nice.
Always being turned on to the music. It's beautiful music. Please come along if you can, and it's going to be a fabulous night. I'm really excited about it.
Well, I'm excited about it as well, Annie Haslam. And November 21st, 22nd at the Wildey Theater in Edwardsville, you can catch Renaissance. We'll be back after this on KMOX.
Horizons seem to beckon me. Learned how to cry too young, so now I live to say.
All righty, we're getting ready to come into winter here, where we're going to be using our furnaces. A lot of you are getting prices now, or you're getting your furnaces checked and you're being told that you have an issue with your furnace and you need a new furnace. So if that is the case and you want a very simple common sense approach to picking a furnace, if that's the case, I'd appreciate you calling and giving me a chance to meet with you and discuss your options. So call me. It's one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. Just one number. Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or on the web is bartinman.com. Now there's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
This holiday season, the Dave Glover Show is excited to partner with Hardee's and Operation Food Search for the Holiday Food Drive. While supplies last, stop by any metro area Hardee's and make a donation of at least $1 to benefit Operation Food Search and receive a limited edition DGS holiday sticker. All donations will benefit Operation Food Search to help children and families facing food insecurities. Get all the details about the campaign or to make an online donation, head to KMOX.com/events.
That take you back to your days there, getting to talk to one of your childhood crushes?
Yeah, no, this was, that was pretty cool. She's great. And it's a great band. Great music. They were one of the early bands to work with symphony orchestras in their music. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, have you, there's a couple of interchanges in town. Dorset is one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've done this where there's a couple in St. Charles as well, where you get off the highway and you know how you normally would stay in the lanes that are to the right.
Yeah.
They've now shifted those to the left, and you kind of do these funky like S curves under the highway. Have you run into these?
Yeah.
It's scary as can be.
It is.
I've had trouble with them. I don't understand them. They're shocking
Well,
because they
buddy,
don't make any sense.
If you were a skilled driver such as myself, you would be able to navigate that very smoothly. I had a tough time the other night. I had to be at the Lake of the Ozarks for a meeting, and I had to drive home at dark. And you know that construction, they're right there at 70?
And 40?
Right there. And it's all down to one lane, these big old trucks on the, and it was dark. And, that was rough.
So there you were dealing with the consequences of decisions that have been made. And I'm thankful for the decisions to build that highway. I just don't understand some of these others. But interestingly enough, the same day you were in the Lake of the Ozarks, I was at a political fundraiser. I'm not even going to tell you who the candidate was.
All right.
And as I was pulling up to it, this guy's a state rep. As I was pulling up to it, there was some, I don't even know what the protesters were. They were either pro-Israel or anti-Israel.
All right.
And they were particularly targeting this legislator. And I've seen this a lot. And I think to myself, this guy's a state rep and they're protesting foreign policy. Now, a state rep seems to me to be able to have more effect on what's going on with roads, bridges, and interchanges than they do necessarily with what's going on in Venezuela, Israel, or Russia. Do we agree?
I think you're onto something.
How have we gotten to the point that when people are running for office to run counties and cities and states, that this is what we're talking about? Stuff that has nothing to do, we're electing people and debating issues that have nothing to do with what the job they're running for is.
Well, fully understanding that there's a pox on both of our houses here as it relates to radicalism.
True.
That, having said that, what you're seeing out in front of whatever house that was is you're seeing a bunch of radicalized young people who are pro-Palestinian, who are virulently anti-Israel, and they're protesting because they feel like they must, and they, whatever excuse they find or whatever event they can glom onto to express their radical viewpoints, they're doing it. So if it happens to be a state representative, so be it. That's what that's what you're seeing. There's a very radicalized part of the electorate out there.
Yeah, and I guess, but is that what we're going to start sending mail and communications from state reps to elect state representatives is about foreign policy? I would like a state representative who's going to go down and deal with our roads. He's going to pick up the trash on the sides of the highways, something they actually have control over. I don't really care what their personal or non-opinions are on foreign policy.
Yeah, that's just kind of the way things are. And when you see a narrowing, a reduction of the number of people who vote in primaries, then the folks that are on the radical fringe have a disproportionate voice. And so you may very well start seeing Democratic candidates for state rep in districts where a Democrat is going to win and running in a primary. You may see them taking pro-Palestinian positions because that's where their electorate is.
Because I'm so passionate against President Trump, and I voice it here on KMOX, do you think there's a good chance I may be investigated for mortgage fraud?
Probably.
I don't understand this mortgage fraud stuff. It's interesting. Letitia James, Eric Swalwell, even I think Comey, have they gotten him on mortgage fraud?
I don't know.
They're going after any of the president's opponents on mortgage fraud. I've gotten a couple of loans in my life, a couple of mortgages.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could even be fraudulent. They have you there for 4 hours, make you sign 18,000 pieces of paper. How would you fraudulently even do all that?
So I think what they're specifically going after with Letitia James is she has a second home, and the claim is that she is claiming that as her primary residence, and there's some tax benefit to that apparently, and that act in and of itself is a commission of mortgage fraud. That's the charges now. James refutes the underlying facts there, and her case is going to be determined. It may get thrown out as early as the next week or two.
Yeah. I just don't know how a person, there's so many pieces of papers and notarized things and stuff you sign away. You give them blood, you give them a hair sample, you do everything to get a mortgage. And then they're going to tell you that, oh, well, this guy methodically was doing something as fraud. I don't buy it.
Well, we'll find out. We're going to find out, and those cases are going to go forward, and we'll see if others end up in the web. I think you're probably safe though, buddy. I don't think you're your fruit is not high enough on the tree for them to worry about.
I hope that's the case, John. I really do hope that's the case. I'm looking forward to next week on Thursday, KMOX Day.
11:20.
100 years celebration.
Yeah.
You and I are going to be in here for part of the day.
Everybody's going to be in here. I mean, this thing is going to be such good radio next Thursday, folks. I really hope all of you tune in. Speaking of good radio, Chris and Amy are next, except Amy's not here. So I'm going to stick around with Chris Ranji. Michael's going to stick around with Chris Ranji in the first hour, and we'll see you right around the corner.
Hancock and Kelley with us on this Friday to start the show. As always, the Boeing strike has come to an end after over 100 days. We'll talk to those guys about that. And also on the No Prize Pick'em Challenge today, Congressman Wesley Bell. He will join the show. We've got that and more coming up on the Chris and Amy Show right after the news on KMOX.
You've got your whole